morning. You are gathered with us here on Workhorse Wrestling Network this fine Saturday morning, August 2nd, 7 a.m. over here on the West Coast, 10 a.m. over there on the East Coast where Miss Anika is at. We are here for Winner's Circle as we are every Saturday morning. We're going to review Collision and Dynamite, but not Collision from Thursday night, Collision from last Saturday, and Dynamite from Wednesday. Next week will be Collision from Thursday. just to keep it clear which ones we're doing. We'll also put up a banner with the date so y'all are clear on which one we're doing. How's your Saturday morning so far?
So far, so good. Just chilling. Then got to work till late afternoon.
Don't think today is SummerSlam, night one of SummerSlam, but we're not going to be here, unfortunately. I think tomorrow Anika will be on Dolores' channel for night two of SummerSlam watch along. So make sure and go over to Dolores' channel. In fact, if Dolores, if you're here at all, or when you chime in, if you want to plug in your YouTube channel so that people know where to go to watch night one and night two, because I believe she's doing coverage for both nights on her YouTube channel. So you can watch SummerSlam, or you can watch SummerSlam and hang out with her. And then tonight, and then Anika and Dolores on Sunday night. So are you excited for SummerSlam?
Not as usual, because this summer has been crazy. And unfortunately, Paul Levesque kind of shot himself in the foot doing all these premium live events back to back. And it's like, hopefully next year we don't do this, because this was dumb. It's like only some stories kind of built up over time, but literally for SummerSlam, we had 3 weeks, and it's like fine, just fine. Especially this is the first time you're doing 2 nights. This was at the time to do premium live events up until 3 weeks before SummerSlam. But I do have some matches that the women have gone hard. So Triple Threat, Io, Rhea, and Naomi. I hope not. If Naomi don't win,
Yeah, on
I'm
paper
so
that should be
sad.
really good.
I need her to win. I don't need her to have a long reign, but just let her make it to Clash of Paris, and I'm fine.
Yeah. I mean, luckily I don't have to watch it because I'm watching WWE at the moment. But yeah, I mean, it being 2 nights is enough to turn me off. I mean, you know how I feel about the whole 2-night deal. So if I was still watching it, I'd be irritated because I understand trying to make it a spectacle and all those things, and I get it. It's your WrestleMania of the summer. I mean, it's like 2 months out from the real WrestleMania, so
Yeah.
months out. So I mean, it's hard to whatever. I mean, it's your big show of the summer. I get it, but like, I don't know, just the fact that now I got to watch 2 nights. If I'm a fan and I want to watch, now I have to actually make plans. I have to be available for
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday. And then don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
I know on Peacock you can watch it later and all those things. You don't have. It's not must sit there and you don't have to be there at the exact time. It's still a lot of wrestling to watch. It just is. It's a lot to expect people to watch on top of Raw, on top of SmackDown. You know what I mean? It's like it's a
Yes.
lot of wrestling. And the reality is that most wrestling fans watch wrestling, right? So like it's the rare fan that only watches one or the other. So chances are good
Yes.
if you're a diehard wrestling fan, you're watching Raw on Monday, you're watching NXT on Tuesday, you're watching Dynamite on Wednesday, you're watching maybe TNA on Thursday, depending on how diehard you are. You're watching SmackDown on Friday,
Yeah.
you're watching Collision on Saturday, and probably a pay-per-view from one of the two of those companies, depending on what weekend it is, what's going on. I mean, that's a lot in a given weekend. So or in a given week. So yeah. All right. So if you're new to Workhorse Wrestling Network and you're here with us, please hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Hit the like button on this video. It helps a lot. Hit that little bell and you'll be notified every time Workhorse Wrestling Network puts something up on the YouTube channel. If you're here watching with us, chime in the chat. Let us know what you thought about Collision from July 26th or Dynamite from July 30th. Anything else you want to talk about, just drop in and say hi. We love to hear from you guys. If you're over there on Twitch, give us a follow. Chime in over there. I guess I was wrong. I guess we can see Twitch comments here in Restream, so please feel free to chime in if you're watching on Twitch over there. And we appreciate all of you. So I guess without further ado, let's open up AEW Collision from the 26th. Let's see. This bad boy was the first one They oh no, they're still still in Chicago.
Hmm.
Do, 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 do.
I
Little
love this arena.
away
I just like the whole feel of this arena looks really cool, and I love this arena for them.
Yeah, they spent a little bit of time in the Hammerstein Ballroom, right, where ECW had
Yeah.
been things, and this they moved on after a couple weeks here, so this is a little bit different location. Like I said, about 3 weeks away from Forbidden Door. We will do a live watch along for Forbidden Door. We will figure that out somehow. So we will be here on the Worklords Wrestling Network for AEW Forbidden Door watch along. The show opened with a TNT title match. Anika's favorite current champion at the moment, son of Texas,
Yes.
the last of his kind,
Hmm.
Mr. Dustin Rhodes, taking on Lee Moriarty of Shane Taylor Promotions in a solid opening match. I mean, they both went at it. I mean, here's the thing: like we've seen guys that are roughly Dustin's age. There's a few of them out there still doing it, and for his age, he still does it pretty well. I mean, I think he moves pretty well. He's still pretty fluid, especially compared to some other guys you see at that age. So, he's been able to stay in shape and all those things, and he's still putting out good matches. I mean, you know, other than Gold Dust, I might argue that this is, one of the golden points of his career. I mean, honestly, or one of the golden, times of his career. I mean, he's TNT champion. He is a main fixture on a main wrestling platform again, and not in a mask, not under his own name. You know what I mean? Getting to actually be Dustin Rhodes. Not
Yeah.
that Goldust wasn't a great character, but like, there's something to be said for getting to be who you are, your face out there, all those things, as opposed to being behind a mask with another name, right? Or some made up name. So all those things, and what can you say about Lee Moriarty? I mean, he's been the ROH pure champion several times, so the man can really wrestle. I love Shane Taylor Promotions, and for me, I thought this match was really good. To be fair, it feels, and this is no insult to either of them, but the way that AEW works, this feels much more ROH than it does AEW, which is a little unfortunate. At the same time, if there's this kind of concept, and again, I don't really know because I'm not privy to what Tony thinks, but if the idea is that Ring of Honor is kind of AEW's NXT, then I can see that that's fine. You bring guys up, you give them a chance on the main show, Collision or Dynamite, see what they can do, see if they're worth actually maybe moving from Ring of Honor or not. You know, um, I'm not totally clear if that's how he's planning on, or that's how he is using Ring of Honor, or that's what he wants to do with it long term. That's how it feels. So in that regard, at least you get to see these guys come up. And Collision's a good place to be having matches for guys that are on Ring of Honor that maybe you want to move up, as opposed to maybe Dynamite, just to see what they can do. Needless to say, we know both these guys can go. So, um, yeah, I enjoyed this. What do you think of this match? Let's see. I'm sorry. Dustin did get the win to
Yeah.
reach the Yankee title, which doesn't surprise me because he's going to lose it to Kyle Fletcher, right? So he's got to hold on to it till at least Kyle Fletcher beats him because that's really the underlying story here. So, what do you think of the match? What do you think about Dustin and all the stuff going on with the TNT title?
Look. Okay. So here's the thing. All right. Match wise. Match wise. Lee Moriarty is that dude. He's always been that dude since he got to AEW. So match wise, this was so freaking good. And I will concur that the age of Dustin Rhodes and him still wrestling, he still can do a decent match. So all that is great. All that aside, but it's like, yes, we don't want the reign to be a full out transitional reign, right? We do want him to get some wins. Did it have to be against Lee Moriarty? Everyone he could have beat. Did it have to be against Lee Moriarty? We've been saying this on our podcast that Shane Taylor Productions is a good group. They fit well. They actually have some kind of consistency. They're good wrestlers, but we don't know what it will take for them to get a win right now. Like right now, like to get a freaking win. So all of this in a vacuum was fine. But yes, I want more for Lee Moriarty. I don't know. Honestly, at this point in time, I don't think it's gonna happen, which is boo. But yes, I that did kind of like, ugh. This is why. This is what happens when you have old behind crackheads emotionally become champion. Other people have to win. And like you said, not people on his age range are wrestling right now. So it's gonna be someone younger than him, just by proxy. But it was fine, whatever.
Yeah, I don't, Lee's another one of those guys. We talk on Workhorse Wrestling Network here often about, why some people make it and some people don't, why some people are over, some people have better, what all those things where the disconnect is with some guys. I don't know that there's a disconnect. Anika, you made a comment just several times about how there's only so much TV time and only so much, you can actually do with all these people. And there's a lot of people, and the reality is that, you know, I think of it as a good thing. Maybe some people think of it as a bad thing. I don't know where Tony's mindset is, but it the idea that you have a good enough roster that's loaded enough that you have trouble getting someone that's as good as Lee Moriarty real TV time. I mean that's a good thing to say about your roster. At the same time, Lee Moriarty should be getting more. I mean, I don't know where he fits in. I don't know where you squeeze him in. I mean, Shane Taylor Promotions probably needs to be on, the AEW main roster, as opposed to an ROH thing. Again, without knowing Tony's full mindset behind Ring of Honor, maybe he's trying to keep some people on there to try to keep some interest in it and not just as kind of a feeder. But I don't know how many people are actually watching Ring of Honor. It's always been kind of a niche thing, and I think now that it's owned by AEW and it's connected with AEW, I think it's probably got more eyes on it than it had in the past, maybe. But at
Yeah.
the same time, it's still a kind of a niche thing, and I don't know how many people are watching it. So get these guys some more time, and Lee's one of those guys that deserves definitely more time. I mean, he's better than what they booked him as for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see what just happened here to my screen. That's really weird. Okay, my screen with my notes just went blank. All right, very weird.
Sorry, Tony
Post
Khan.
match.
Truth is true.
Post match, Don Callis and Kyle Fletcher are here to talk some shit to Dustin Rhodes. Kyle wants a title match next Saturday on Collision. Well, actually, it'll be on Thursday. It was on special Thursday night 2 nights ago, Collision. And he finished it with "I'm your Huckleberry." What do you think? Are you excited for this match? Is there any doubt in your mind that Kyle Fletcher gets the win?
The doubt comes with it's on Collision and not on Forbidden Door, right? So I don't think he's gonna lose, but I do think it's gonna be a more so the more so a number of is he gonna win a title or is it gonna be a no contest, no a disqualification that happens. Um, I will give again like Collision, like yeah. So I will give the percentage of it in a DQ 35%. 35%. Cause like it's Collision. I know Forbidden Door's 2 weeks. Why are we not doing this at Forbidden Door? So yeah, I'm gonna give 40%. 40%. 40% that this ends in a DQ.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I yeah. I mean, I think the only real potential for Dustin is that it ends in DQ somehow. If it's not a DQ, Kyle Fletcher has to win. I don't think there's any way Dustin Rhodes is beating Kyle Fletcher clean
100%.
in that
Yes.
match. Um, let's see. We had Bang Bang Gang is ready for Brian Keith and Big Bill as they have their matchup in the number one contenders tag team tournament tonight. That match should be fun. I'm skipping over Tony Schiavone paying his tribute to Terrence from Tampa. We get Tony Storm says no one goes as deep as she does, and she wants to see Alexis Windsor beat Athena. Storm doesn't think she has, or Tony doesn't think Athena has the ovaries to take the AEW women's title from her. What about this little promo from Tony Storm?
um, decent match in the words of Michael Cole. Vintage, timeless Tony Storm. Uh, nice little hype up too. So I have no bones about this. This was stupid in the best way possible.
Yeah. So this is it was on Dynamite, right? Yeah. So they were hyping up the Dynamite tag team match, Athena and Billy Starks, right, versus Tony Storm and
Yeah.
Alex Windsor. Yeah. That's yeah. I'm trying to remember because when you watch it, I usually watch the shows both on Friday, and so they blend together. I watch them back to back, and I'll be like, "Was that Collision or was that Dynamite?" I can never remember until I see the notes. So let's see. So we had our number one contender tag team first round tournament match. It is Big Bill and Brian Keith versus the Bang Bang Gang. We got the guns out with Juice
Guns up.
Robinson, the freshly shaved Juice Robinson, although now he's been
Still
freshly
weird.
shaved for a little
Still
while.
weird.
But let's see. The guns get the win. And it's a solid match. You know, I don't think with the people that are in this tournament, I don't, and I'm still me personally. I guess maybe I'm not focused enough on. I'm half watching, half working, whatever. I physically, with my eyes, have not seen a graphic with the
No.
actual bracket for the tag team tournament yet.
No. No. So the bracket was just debuted last Dynamite. We did not have a bracket. We were just
Okay.
putting people together.
Okay.
So no, that wasn't just you working. No.
Okay. So I thought maybe I was just missing something because I was still unclear totally on who was in the tournament. But apparently FTR's in the tournament. Apparently the Young Bucks are in the tournament. That being said, again, I'm weary of recycling. I'm weary of just the same old teams being at the top. There's no way either the Bucks or Big Bill or Brian Keith is going to win this tournament. I mean, I just don't see that happening. So in that regard, it's an okay match. You got to have teams in this that are going to lose. You got to have matches. It's a tournament, all those things. I like both teams. But, as far as the tournament goes, neither of them are going to win the tournament. The match was fine. I guess I'm not surprised that the Guns won because when Bang Bang Gang is going, they've been big. I'm also they did push Big Bill and Brian Keith a lot. I mean, they've been pushing them. So for them to tell, I mean, they've been the ones that have been most in the hurt syndicates like face and in their business, like trying to parlay it into a match and all. And so for them to take the loss and be out of the tournament seemed a little odd. I thought this was a spot where maybe they might get the win. But Bang Bang Gang has been bigger, I guess, than the Tree of Jericho, I suppose. So maybe that's why they're. I don't know. I was surprised about this. What did you think about this match and the Guns getting the win here?
So two thoughts to. So look, first things first. I love the Bang Bang Gang. Guns up. Big Bill and Brian Keith are being a very formidable tag team. And this was a great match. And I love that this was actually like a little bit of a what you call it a spin-off of the whole four-way tag team match last week for the $200,000. So it's like it kind of it's weird. Like this is what happens when you don't have brackets. So they're like, who's gonna be in it? They're beefing, so let them fight now. So that was hilarious. But more so when it comes to who won this, there's two rules of thought about more so Big Bill and Brian Keith. So yes, they have been being pushed, right? They also already beat her syndicate. So I did. Oh, sorry, no. They actually faced her syndicate already. So in that aspect, I didn't want them to run that back so soon. So I'm actually not mad that they lost. And we call it the Bang Bang Game, or so the the guns. I was gonna say ass boys. The guns need more exposure because they just got back, and it feels like hey, just in case you forgot, this is this team. This team is still good. So I'm good with them winning this right now. I do agree with you that no matter who won, I did not see Big Bill, Brian Keith, or the Guns going on to the finals. So, but this was a good little tournament. And I guess tournament wise, now that we have a bracket, it's like we've been saying the tag team division in AEW needs to be restored. It's like, look, these are okay. So for people who don't know, these are all the teams in AEW. Enjoy. So in that aspect, yes, this was a good match to get some exposure for both teams.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, I can appreciate that. I mean, like we have been saying, the tag team division has been down. They need to do something. So, yeah, I mean, bringing basically everybody back and reintroducing them to a certain extent. Remember, we do have a solid tag team division here, so that's what the tournament does, and get in that regard. Let's see, video of Outrunners versus the Young Bucks. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I like the Outrunners. I like the Young Bucks. I mean, I'm here for that feud in general. And I'm very
Yeah,
happy. I was very leery at first about where the Outrunners were going to end up. I thought that they would.
yeah,
I wasn't sure that they would get over. I liked them. I mean, as an '80s kid, they're nostalgic for me. So I like watching them. They're fun. They're exciting. I also thought that they were more kind of gimmick than substance when I first saw them, and I was
yeah.
concerned that they were going to get relegated down and all those things, but they haven't. They've gotten pushed, and I'm glad to see them getting quality tag team matches and quality spots. So, anything you want to say about the Young Bucks or the Outrunners of that feud?
No, I concur with everything you just said. Again, this is a good team. Wish they would have done it sooner when they were really, really hot, but they're still like they're not cold, so it's all good.
Don Callis interrupts Shane Taylor to talk about the match tonight for $400,000. Last week it was 200. Now this week it's 400. Hey, I guess when it's not real money and no one's getting paid, you might as well make it 4 million. What difference does it make? So, needless to say, this is hyping up the match for later in the night. Okay. Anything you want to say about the money in general in the match? I mean, we'll talk about the match later. Anything about the money in general? That's all.
Like I said last week, I need proof of cash in. I need the money in the hand. I need to see the check with someone's name on it being cash. So at least we
Yeah.
have the more of a realization that I did get paid this.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have the most egregious thing I have seen in AEW in a long time. I'm not going to lie. This really destroyed the whole show for me. And it
Oh
further
gosh.
reiterates and solidifies for me that Tony Khan has zero idea what the fuck he's doing with either of these guys.
Oh right.
So here we get Max Caster coming out. He's going to give his open
Yeah.
challenge. He's going to come to the ring and try to do his terrible Max Caster is the best wrestler on the world chant,
Let's
which just
go,
has
Max. You're the best wrestler alive. Let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive.
maybe the worst chant ever in the history of wrestling, but it is what it is. He sets his open challenge, and guess who answers the bell? Coming out with Billy Gunn is his former tag team partner from the acclaimed Mr. Anthony Bowens. So Bowens comes down, uh, basically beats Max Caster in 2 minutes, and afterwards, well, I guess let's okay. Let me back up a little. Let me talk about why this is so egregious first. So I've been complaining about the way they booked Max Caster since the Acclaimed is split up. It feels to me like they've gone out of their way to bury him. And I understand what you say about, his challenge matches have been against quality wrestlers that he should be losing against. I still don't understand why you set up a situation where a guy just takes loss after loss after loss after loss after loss after loss after loss for weeks on end when they were your former tag team champions, when they were a former big deal in your company. Why you're not giving him at least some you can take losses. You have to have something to make it feel like this has some sort of tooth to it. Otherwise, it just feels. And I thought the whole goal of this whole thing between these two was a match between these two, and maybe it ultimately still is. But what happened was terrible. As far as I was like, shit, they had Caster versus Bowens, and then we got that hunk of shit 2 minutes where Bowen just basically just walked in and punched him and then kicked him and beat him up. Basically, I mean, it was definitely a squash match. I mean, Caster got, I guess, a couple pieces of offense, but it was definitely a squash match. This is definitely showing that Bowens is going to turn heel. No doubt we're getting a Bowens heel turn. And I guess at some point down the road, maybe we'll see this again. I mean, for me, this was the pinnacle of Max's story at the moment was him versus Bowens because they were former tag team partners. Obviously, no one else feels that way because that's not what happened at all. So, I mean, unless we're going to try to get there again down the road, I don't know. But like, yeah, for me, I thought this was really bad. Just the whole thing, all the way from beginning to end. I guess talk about the match first, and then we'll talk about post match.
So I echo everything you just said. I was on the other fence of yeah. So this is good for Max because he's not get as long as he's not getting beat by someone he should be beating. This is a good gimmick. Let him just keep going until we find something else for him to do. Now before the collision before this, and Billy was like, "I got you a warm up match." I don't think anyone thought it was gonna be this again because this is when he came back. Um, I get the story where Anthony Bones is frustrated and he's taking all his frustration out on your former tag team partner, even though it's not his fault. Uh, but yeah, this definitely bleeds to the terms of you have no clue what the freak you're doing. And to that end, we're talking in circles because we're going to say the same thing. We just said that everyone's not going to be in a main event picture. There's not enough TV time for everybody. But to see the Acclaim, who was your tag team champions, who was on a huge run where the scissor me, daddy ass, and everyone
Yeah.
was doing it, and you actually had the tag team title belts being scissored, and now back to this. It really is like, okay, I don't need a plan, but can we get a GPS on where we're going with this? Like we're dag on it, man. Like just a rivalry. Can we get a rivalry? Like when it comes to AEW, that's what I appreciate of when in doubt, wrestle it out. Can we at least get a rivalry before we flounder? It feels like we're just floundering with these two. And when they were the Acclaim, they were the hottest ticket on the block. So hopefully this leads to something somewhat substantial. Anthony Bones, I don't think he should be heel. I think like okay, when I say don't be heel, like not full out we hate you. Like let him just go through this little tough period and he'll come out maybe in 6 months as a baby face. But like let's turn him 100% heel. But yeah, this was just like, so y'all really don't know what y'all doing. Oh, okay. And like you said, hopefully they get a good rivalry and we'll get this back on track. Hopefully.
Post match, so Bowens got the wins really quick, and then it looked like post match he jumped on Max and started beating him up after the match. And Billy Gunn came in and basically like pushed him off pretty aggressively, kind of threw him off essentially, and went over to check on Max and make sure Max was okay. I mean, Billy and Max were still friends, I guess, to a certain extent, as they were all partners before, trios champions actually. And then it looks like Bowens is kind of behind his back, and for a minute it looked like he was going to do something to him, and then decided the better, to not do it and walked out of the ring. But clearly there was that moment where it looked like he was about to snap on Billy and turn heel. I guess the weird thing for me about that moment, and I guess is that you'd think you would turn heel after a loss, not after a win. I mean, you just came in, you just
Yeah.
beat Max Caster in 2 minutes. You look pretty damn good for all intents and purposes. That's your partner who says he's the best, former partner who says he's the best wrestler in the world. You beat him in 2 minutes, and now you're still all pissy and going to turn heel now. Like that seems good. And he didn't do anything to Billy Gunn, so maybe this isn't the official heel turn yet. But the look in his eyes and look like you want to do something to the man. So like.
Yeah.
It seemed kind of like an out of place moment for that. But again, it is what it is. The reality is that clearly Tony not only doesn't know what he's doing with these two, but clearly he doesn't really care. Like these guys are the creative back burner at the moment, right? It's like, okay, we'll come up with something, but it doesn't have to be whatever, right? So, okay, I guess we'll pay as much attention to it as they want us to. So,
Yes.
AR Fox
Exactly.
is with the matriarchy's there, about to talk. AR Fox comes in, starts talking some shit to Nick Wayne, and Kip Sabian basically, AR Fox says, I want a match. Kip Sabian basically accepts the match for Nick Wayne. What do you think about this little AR Fox segment with the matriarchy and a match between AR Fox and Nick Wayne?
He gets TV time. We do know that AR Fox and Nick Wayne go back, so that's cool. We're still developing Nick Wayne in this whole single venture he's on. Hopefully, it is something substantial. Like that's my hope in all of this. But yeah, this makes sense. So this is cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I think this is good for Nick because I think it's giving him, with his mom and Kip Sabian, who has never really been more than what he is, and him being so young and the amount of hype that followed him into AEW, this is giving him a chance to stand on his own 2 feet and really shine. And I like that. And I think so far he's done a decent job. I mean, it hasn't been a whole lot, but it's been decent so far. I thought the promo was, the talking has been okay for the most part, and he's a great wrestler. So I'm interested in that. And him and Fox should be a lot of fun. I don't imagine Fox is beating
Yes.
him for that title at the moment, for the Ring of Honor title at the moment, but Ring of Honor TV title. But just because AR Fox just doesn't seem to win titles or win big matches, but it should be a hell of a match. Let's see. We get Don Callis family and the Infantry versus the Outrunners, Tomohiro Ishii, and the undefeated on Collision, 28-0, as they made a point to say. Then it came down to the ring. Hologram in the 8-man tag team match for the $100,000, the infamous $100,000, the briefcase full of money that no one actually gets. Um, you know, I'm so confused with Hologram. I just want to talk about Hologram just for a quick second before we actually talk about that, because I'm really confused with Hologram. You're 20. You make him 28-0, so he has this feeling of being. Everyone knows the storyline is Hologram never loses, but yet he doesn't ever win anything big enough either. No titles, no victories on Dynamite, nothing at a pay-per-view. It's literally just whatever match he's in on Collision, he just doesn't lose. It's like Collision. It's the weirdest thing to me. I don't either push him or don't push him, but you can't. It feels like a half push. It feels very weird. It's like I don't know what to make of that. Anything you want to say about Hologram before I talk about the match?
No, I get what you're saying. So this was a time where we're still trying to make Collision its own show, and it is still kind of like we have our Collision staples, and Hologram was one of those staples. So in that aspect of, oh, he's just on Collision, he's 28-0. Okay, cool. So that's a nice little trait to give someone, right? The other foot of it is, besides that, what you're gonna like. That's with every signee, with every wrestling contract, with every new signee. What are you gonna do after that? What's the purpose of being 28-0? I guess is the mainstay. Like, no offense, which one would you rather have? A huge streak or a championship? Like, it really is a toss up. And right now, Hologram, though, like the last time I really focused on him was when they were in Grand Slam Mexico, and even that was in like a 12-man tag. So again, until I guess they have something for you, being undefeated on Collision isn't bad. So okay, cool, fine, we'll roll with that right now. We'll roll with it.
So the match, 8-man tag match. I wish it was only an 8-man tag match because that was hard enough to follow. And then we got more. We got the Paragon at the end. We got all sorts of people. We got Shane Taylor Promotions coming out. I mean, this was a clusterfuck all the way around. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought the match itself was okay. You get to see a lot of guys. I always complain about too many people in the ring, and that was still the case here. But in an effort to try to get many people on your roster that deserve to be on TV at one time, I guess it is what it is. And there are. It's not just going nowhere. There are storylines going on here. That's why people are coming out and all those things. So I get it. You're trying to further storylines and you want them to, permeate between, Collision and Dynamite, and at least Collision episodes at minimum. But Collision and Dynamite, because AEW is this, thing where they're all kind of on the same level, right? You don't have necessarily like a brand split at all. So, it all intertwines. Okay.
No, well,
I mean,
yeah.
The Infantry and Don Callis family take the loss. I'm a little surprised Don Callis takes the loss. I'm not surprised the Infantry takes the loss. That's what the Infantry does, unfortunately. Okay. I mean, the Outrunners, the good guys get the win here. It doesn't do it further appearance, but it really doesn't do a whole lot. So, what do you think of this overall?
Again, so the Infantry is part of Shane Taylor Productions. So, correct me if I'm wrong. The people that were in the Don Callis family was Rocky Romero and Trent. That was on this team, right?
So, yeah, and Hechicero.
So yeah. So no offense, Rocky and Trent are the fall guys for the Callis family. So in that aspect, it's like, yeah, you kind of saw this coming a little bit.
I think it was. I don't know that Trent was actually there, or I'm thinking it was Arthur. and
If it's
Hector Claro, and I'm trying to remember so many people I don't even remember now. And Don
okay,
Callis has so many people that it's always hard to
more
keep track of.
so, if it ain't to Kesta or Cal Fletcher, you can take a loss. That's what. If it's not Cal Fletcher or Takeshita, y'all can get it. We're fine with that. Point all pun intended. But I'm okay with I was gonna say Axiom, sweet Jesus, hologram, and them winning. Uh, more so about like people getting time. I guess it when we say when in doubt, wrestle it out, and at least it has something to do before they go into the main event. I guess you got to give something that matters. And Collision, where I guess we also putting too much stank on it because Collision is just the fun show to watch wrestling. So we shouldn't put too much stank on storylines and whatnot. But it is like when it comes to these people who are somewhat our favorites. More so, I look like the infantry, even though they're bad guys. I love the infantry, and even Rocky Romero too, and Lance Archer. It really is like, can we put a little bit more importance? Not a lot, but just like just a dash of importance. Just one more dash of importance, and they'll be fine. But yeah, like you say, if
Yeah,
you're here for wrestling, these guys can wrestle. So in that aspect, yeah, go ahead, have fun.
agreed. We get the first official match of the faction with the name of the Julia Hart Sky Blue Aqua faction. Triangle of Madness. It's
Sure.
going to be their faction name, which, okay. I mean,
I
whatever. I mean, it's not the
yeah.
worst name I've ever heard. It's not the best I've ever heard, but it's not the worst. And
Is
they're going to
it
wrestle
better?
Maserati. But
I was gonna say, is it better than Pure Fusion Collective?
yes, it's a little bit
Okay.
better than Pure Fusion Collective.
Yeah.
All right, so they're going to wrestle Triangle of Madness. Is going to wrestle Maserati, Laney Luck, and Rachel Ellering. I don't know anything about Maserati or Laney Luck. I do know Rachel Ellering, second generation wrestler. Her father is a legend, Paul Ellering. I've been a huge Rachel Ellering fan in the past. She's had some controversy, and I don't know what they are, so I don't want to speak on it. But she's had some issues in the past, so we'll let those sleep. But um, this was definitely a Triangle of Madness showcase here. This was their first match together as a team. It was essentially a squash, which is unfortunate for Rachel Ellering. I don't really care about Maserati or Lady Left. I don't really know who they are. It's a little disappointing that Rachel Ellering is kind of in that jobber spot. But again, I think there's some other stuff going on there. So this was, what it was. I thought the match was what it was supposed to be, which was them stomping out the jobbers. So,
Yeah.
anything you wanted to say about this before we talk about post match?
No, like you said, this is a new team. They need to win. They gotta win. Bravo. Side note. So the Hounds of Hell, we just not doing that. We just broke them up just on the quiet side. Julia, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. We just not doing that no more.
I
Okay.
guess so. I mean,
Just like
I mean,
that. I was no, I was like that was I was actually rooting for them to be together. I know that Buddy's hurt, but you couldn't keep Brody and Julia together. I love them together by themselves. So it really was that little decision of breaking that group up entirely was just like, I guess, boo though. Daggone it, man.
starting to have a little problem with wrestling in general. I mean, I'm only watching AEW at the moment, so it's mostly AEW. But this concept, it didn't really dawn on me until recently, but this concept that when you're injured, you just disappear. I don't. If you intend to have the guy come back and still have something to do, you have a plan for him, you want him to do something, the guy or the girl, when they come back from injury, you have to keep them in people's minds. You have to do something to still keep them, warm to a certain extent. You can't just say they're injured, go off TV for 4 months, come back and be like, hey, the fans should be super excited to see so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are for a minute because it's, oh, they're back. And it's like, yay, but it's like, they should still be on TV giving promos. They should still be helping their team if it's a faction. They should still be around. You shouldn't
Yes.
just not see them until they're healthy and cleared again. Like, out of sight, out of mind is a real thing. And if you've got momentum and you get hurt and you go away, I mean, first of all, I didn't even know Buddy Matthews was hurt. So it didn't even tell us that or say that, or
Yeah.
at least I didn't hear that. And so I'm just like, okay, well, Buddy Matthews, I guess, just gone. I mean, back in catering, I suppose, where is his normal position at whatever company he seems to be in, right? I mean, so again, I mean, Malachi was leaving and everyone was supposed to get this rub. And I guess if Buddy's hurt, then that's one thing. But like, I don't see that. Brody King is probably the only one I see that might be in a little bit better position since Malachi Black has left. Even then, he's getting exposure, but I wouldn't say he's had like a big. He hasn't had a big major win. He hasn't had a. He's not won a title or anything. He hasn't. I mean, it's. He's wrestled, some good matches, taken some losses against some good competition, but yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is weird. And now Julia Hart with these guys. So I guess it is what it is. But Thekla looks good. I like Thekla. I guess we'll see. I don't like Sky Blue, and I've always been Julia Hart. So Triangle of Madness is what it is. I'm not, okay, we'll see. Post match, Queen Aminata comes in with a chair, but then Megan Bain takes her out. So we're getting Aminata versus Megan Bain. I'm assuming that's going to be some sort of. I mean, they've been kind of whatever. So anything you want to say about Aminata and Bain?
I'm glad I'm not getting his TV time. I don't want her to be just fed to Megan Bain because she is so freaking good. We'll see what happens, but they had to put money on it. They're probably going to push Megan Bain, so which sucks. But at least she's getting TV time. We'll stay
there. Let's see. Stokely doesn't like Adam Copeland much after he came after him. And Stokely promises that FTR will win the tournament. I love Stokely. Stokely's great. And, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's one of those weird things because, like, I think both Cash and Dax could talk fine. I mean, they're not in need of a Stokely Hathaway, but everyone benefits from a Stokely Hathaway. Like, no matter who you are, if he's in your corner, your team, I mean, it's always a benefit. The man is just brilliant. I mean, there's nothing he does that I don't enjoy. So, anything about this little Stokely promo with his crutch?
No, this was great. I'm not sure how long we can how long can you go with a crutch and it don't hurt you? I feel like you doing this all the time is gonna hurt you your armpit or something, but it's part of the character right now, and I'm not mad at it. So yes, most likely on my TV, please and thank you.
Let's see, the Paragon who came out during the 8-man or 10-man match, I think 8-man match earlier between the Callis family and the Outrunners Ishii and Hologram, which Hologram got to win again. Paragon interrupts Hologram and Ishii's interview they're giving. And the conglomerations, I guess, is back together again. And yeah, I mean, Paragon versus a conglomeration or Paragon versus Hologram versus an Ishii. I mean, I'm here for that. What do you got to say about this? The Paragon versus, conglomeration, I guess.
So the conglomeration, I do like. It feels like one of those people. It feels like one of those things where you don't have to pin. Like this is actually a group that is set out to Avenger style. When we come together, we're together. When we not, we not. So that's a good aspect of the conglomeration. Ishii, it feels like he just has like every summer doing before Forbidden Door, he goes to camp over here and goes, this is Ishii summer vacation, which I am totally here for. It's fine. And so yeah, this is pure fun in the best way. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always happy when I get to see Ishii on my TV. Unfortunately, I'm not watching a lot of New Japan at the moment just because time is stretched and I just haven't had a chance to. But yeah, so I love when I get to see him in AEW. So,
Yeah.
All right, Nick Wayne, and so earlier, AR Fox wanted a match with Nick Wayne. What we end up getting first is a tag team match between Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian, two members of whatever the new name of their whatever is going to be. They asked, so now no more Christian Cage. What do you guys call? I guess the matriarchy. They didn't really say that, but that's kind of what they've been calling them. Needless to say, Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian versus AR Fox and Angelico, which was an interesting addition. AR Fox. I mean, it doesn't surprise me because AR Fox and Angelico go way back and whatever it is, what it is. But we haven't seen Angelico on Collision or Dynamite in a while. It feels like Obviously not on Dynamite in a long time, but when we do see him, it is on Collision, and even that's few and far between. So, and I really like Angelico. So on paper, this match should be fun. I mean, one of these things is kind of not like the other with Kip Sabian, but it is what it is. I
It
guess
is what it is.
he'll get the rub as much as you can get the rub from a bunch of other guys. It is what it is. Let's see. This was really, even though it went 8 minutes for me, this was really a Nick Wayne showcase, which is fine. You got to see what he did. You got to see him kind of see what this will look like with him kind of as a leader to a certain extent,
Yes.
kind of being the one to call the shots for the team and the group. So in that regard, I thought it came off well. He hits his kill switch, which looked good, just to kind of rub it in Christian Cage's face on
Mm-hmm.
Angelico for the pin. I was glad that it wasn't a squash match. When you have an AR Fox and an Angelico that can both really wrestle, they shouldn't be
Yes.
getting squashed out. So it's got to be a good match where they look good and Nick Wayne and Kip still get the win, which is what really happened here. And Nick Wayne, who's what now 20, because it's been what 2 years since he signed at 18, so he's probably 20 now. Um,
Yes.
this is I think the right spot for him to a certain extent. The AR Foxes, the Angelicos, he can sharpen his skills, grow as a wrestler. Not that he needs a whole lot of work. I mean, he's already phenomenal, but and then in a few years he'll be in a higher level as far as closer to the main event level and eventually the main event. I mean, I'm assuming at some point. I think he's the kind of guy that can be TNT champion or even world champion at some point, depending
Yes.
on how they end up booking him. I mean, I think he's that good, so time will tell. But I enjoyed this, and I thought that it came off well for what it was. What did you think about this?
Again, so we said it earlier. Nick Wayne and AR Fox has a history. So this was a good choice for them to do. It makes, like you said, Nick Wayne is starting off like this is his first solid push by himself, and this is a great start to that solid push.
Yeah,
Nope, still saying it. Yeah, still want AR Fox to win. I was gonna like no, him losing still sucks. Everyone still losing still sucks. Please stop letting him lose. That sucks. But either way, we know Nick Wayne's the new dude in town, so he needs this win. Good match.
yeah. Uh, Statlander. Man, okay. So I mean, it's never thought she lacked personality per se, but there are some people to me that come off as not whatever, but like they're still missing something. I'm never quite sure what it is. Like there are times I can't put my finger on it,
Yeah.
but it's like this felt like something like an evolution of Statlander, at least in the promo situation. Like this was the first time that she came out and gave a promo where I was like, oh, I guess I should pay attention. Like she's actually got some energy. She's saying something. She's actually fired up. Now, to be fair, it's talking shit about my girl Willow and how Willow never
Yeah.
thanked her for anything. I'm not
Yeah. You did.
Willow owes her a thank you, but
Right.
neither here nor there. Clearly, Tony Khan is not done with Statlander and Willow. He obviously likes this the chemistry of these two in the match because he keeps bringing them back together, and here we are again, which I guess to a certain extent is fine. I want both for more women, but
Yeah.
Stat here, she's going to be herself because no one can stop Stat. So for me, I thought this may be her best promo to date. It's the only one that I remember thinking, that's a good promo from Chris Statlander. So I enjoyed this. I thought it was good. Again, I have my feelings about her and Willow just circling each other indefinitely. And when you don't have anything to do with the two of them, just put them back together. But again, they have good chemistry, so the matches should be fine. Whatever they get in the matches, whatever they end up doing with this little feud should be fine. What do you think of this?
Like you said, this was a lot of energy for a Statlander promo. And I'm not mad at it at all. When it comes to Willow and Stat, I think we're just going to be settled on their enemies or frenemies forever. And okay, cool. As long as you don't keep fighting, letting them fight against each other every other month. Like, okay, I think we've already settled on okay, they're enemies. They're rocking Austin. Okay, cool. But we do have to do different stuff. So as long as if you want to run it back, maybe 5 months from now, like an actual rivalry, cool. But right now, Willow is on to talk about it later. Tekla. I need Statlander to be on someone else, right? Like you can't just be stalking. Like it's like I'm trying to compare it to Jade and Naomi. It's like, but that was hot. That was fresh. That was like one continuous story, and now it's over with. With Stat and Willow, I need you to at one point in time stop it and then start it up again later down the line. So like, okay, we established they're enemies, whatever, but now give Statlander something else to do. He said, thank you.
No, I agree. That brings us to our main event of this episode of Collision, which is the Ring of Honor World Women. I'm sorry, Ring of Honor Women's World Championship title match between the defending champion, your forever Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, Miss Athena, and the challenger Alex Winter, who's made a name for herself coming on the scene here, burst on the scene, getting a lot of time, getting matches against Athena, and getting basically a feud against Athena for the Ring of Honor title, essentially. Which okay. I mean, we know Anika has her feelings about it. I'm sure she'll say something about it further after when
you married to somebody, now you up on my TV screen. Let's find whatever.
let's just say Miss Osprey is getting a little bit of a push at the moment.
Really?
She's filling the void.
Really?
She's filling the void that her husband left for, I guess, 3 weeks while he's off.
No void. She can fill. Go with the business and say with the match. Go with the business and say what the freaking match was.
So these two have a title match for the championship. Martina gets the win here with the O face. At a little over 12 minutes. I thought this was a very solid match. Alex Windsor, I know you don't, whatever, is a very solid wrestler. I don't know that she necessarily should be coming in getting a spot against in a hot feud against your forever champion, your forever Ring of Honor champion, Athena. Maybe that's a little bit of a push, a little too quick. Again, it really is only Ring of Honor, and that's no disrespect to Athena, but Ring of Honor is what it is. Again, as we talked about earlier, it's not like Alex Windsor is up on Dynamite beating Tony Storm, right? I mean, it's not like that's happening at the moment. So, that being said, I do think she's a very solid wrestler, and I think the future for her looks bright. I'm very interested. Again, I'm here for Athena. So Alex Windsor is what it is. She's just kind of the opponent at the moment, who I like and I think is fine, but I'm here for Athena. So, and Athena gets the win, and Athena shows out, and all I'm invested in at this moment is Athena versus Mercedes Moné. So that's where all my chips are at the moment. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah. No. Athena versus Tony Storm. I'm sorry. So that's and whatever Athena's gonna ultimately do on the main AEW roster. That's what I'm here for. So I thought this match was fine. Windsor showed out and Athena got the win as it should be. What do you think about this?
Yeah. No. Great match for a main event. We're on the same boat. We are here for Athena. Athena, our forever ROH Women's World Heavyweight Champion. When it comes to Alex Windsor, jokes aside, she is decent. She is a decent wrestler. This is not really a big push, but okay. Talking about me, Anika, as someone who has never seen her on the independent scene. This is my first time seeing her, and if I didn't know who she was married to, it would be like, oh, okay. And granted, yes, it's ROH. Unfortunately, no one is paying that much attention to ROH, and that sucks. But it would be, what's the word? You have so this was like a week after. It was like 2 weeks of introducing us to Alex Windsor. She gets this title. It's Ring of Honor, so it's fine. This is a good push. It is a good push for a new star. So okay, cool. She does need a little bit more. Where just like, what is exactly your personality aside from you just love to wrestle? Like, I know like it's AEW, the best wrestler, but you do need to give me something to make me care more about you. So I am waiting for that to happen. But case in point, good wrestler, great match. This is good for people who, because I don't think people remember Athena that well. We know Athena because we've seen her in NXT in her first time in AEW, but she's been on ROH behind a paywall. So this was a good time to be like, hey, just in case you didn't know, this is why she's going after Tony Storm. This is why this match is going to be so good when it actually happens. So a very good showcase for Athena and Alex Winter and whatever.
Yeah. Post match, Athena and Billy go after Alex Windsor, but Tony Storm runs in for the brawl, running hip attack, and then the chicken wing on Athena. Starks comes in and saves her. And basically, Tony Storm and Alex Windsor stand tall at the end of the show. I thought it was. I thought it was an okay episode of Collision. The stuff with Max Caster and um, Anthony Bowens. We say nothing was egregious. I thought this was an egregious segment. And not only was it egregious just on its face for what it was, but just because for the lackluster of all of it. Like, for me, the cherry on the top of both of their stories was going to be a feud between the two of them and whatever match came out of that. And
Yeah.
maybe we're still going to try to get there, but like to start off with a 2-minute squash match between the two, like there's no reason why there was nothing going on that caught Max Caster off guard enough, or he was injured, or distracted, that Bowen should come in and just run through. I understand Bowen just hyped up and frustrated and all those things, but like the idea is that these two are somewhat on the same level, at least in theory, or I guess maybe only in Max's mind, and in reality, maybe they're not, according to Tony Khan, as you can see. But the impression I had was that these two are roughly on the same level, so one shouldn't be getting the win over the other like that. And the segment itself, I thought, was bad too. I just didn't. The whole thing for me is just bad storytelling. So in that regard, I think this was a C this week. I thought it was a C. It might even be a C minus. There was nothing. I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. The final match between Alex Windsor and Athena for the title was really good. I thought it was probably the best match of the show, of the night. Dustin and Lee was solid. But other than that, there really wasn't a whole lot of interest. I mean, we saw Hologram again in a match that really does not a whole lot other than fuel a couple little feuds between other people. Hologram, like I said, he gets another win, kind of big deal. We had a bang bang gang advances, but I didn't think there was anything on here that I was like, oh yeah, okay. So yeah, I think this is a C. I'm gonna give it a C.
So I guess when we're doing this, right? Collision is now, we've been doing Collision versus Dynamite for a minute. I want to know what level should we put it on. It feels like when we were doing AEW Raw and Dynamite, NXT Raw and AEW Dynamite. NXT got a little bit of a pass because we're like, oh, it's developmental, even though it's on Prime TV, right? And so it's like it's good for NXT. I feel like should we do the same thing for Collision? It's not developmental, but it's definitely we do like let's call a spade a spade. It's the B show. It is on Saturdays. It is if you're bored, come and watch this show just because So
Yeah.
on that aspect, like it shouldn't be like Tony Khan said, everyone's equal. This is gonna be just as good as Dynamite. Earlier
Right.
in the year, they were trying, and it was, and they were putting some blockbuster stuff. But I guess they're like, we're tired now. So to that aspect, as a Collision show, I'll give this all a C. Yeah, I saw it C. More so for me, like I do like, if you just want to watch wrestling for fun, cool. Well, I do like a little bit of a consistent storyline of something. Like you don't have to be big stars, but can I get a consistent storyline of what the freaking show is for 2 hours? Like that would help me out enjoy a little bit more. The Acclaimed, I'm not as down on it as you are, but I do like I'm not detached where I'm like, yeah, I can't disagree either. Where it's just like, what are we doing? And more so for me, the infantry, the AR Fox, mostly all the black people, Shane Taylor Productions losing kind of sucks. Look, I was trying to, I forgot Shane Taylor's name. Like, yeah, all the black people losing sucks. So yeah, C. This is a C. This is a C. Except Athena. Except Athena, who's gonna lose to Tony
Except Athena.
Storm at Forbidden Door. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You know, at least I feel like we gave NXT a pass because at least NXT acknowledges what they are, right? NXT
Like
has no
what?
problem saying we're essentially developmental. You get what you get on NXT. Tony Khan wants to present Collision like it's Raw and SmackDown as opposed to
Yes.
Raw and NXT, when really it's more like Raw and NXT. It's not really Raw and SmackDown. Collision isn't really either Raw or SmackDown. It's not. They don't give it that much effort. They don't give it that, but that's how he wants it to be preserved. And if that's or that perceived, if that's the case, then you're really failing. Like if this is supposed to be really your B show and it's supposed to rival your A show Dynamite, like then you really feel you should get a C minus then this week, because in that regard, like I'm not even not giving it a pass. I'm giving it more critique because you're telling me it's supposed to be a big show and it's not. So like either admit what it is and say, yeah, we're using it kind of as a jobber development, not developmental, but it is in DRB show, then I'll look at it that way. But as long as you're telling me it's supposed to be a fucking A show and you're giving me a C product, yeah, you're gonna get a C minus probably. Like I mean, yeah, because that's irritating, right? Don't tell me
Yeah.
what I'm looking at isn't what I'm seeing, right? Like you're watching an A show while I'm seeing the product, and that's not a product. So okay, so I don't know, but yeah, so I again, it is what it is. So I give it a C. You gave it a C. We'll
Yes.
stop harassing Collision at this moment. It, and we will move on to AEW Dynamite from Wednesday. I'll hand the reins over to Miss Anika, and she'll lead us through the discussion of
All right, boys and girls. So, yep, this is AEW Dynamite from July 30th. I know it's July 30th because July is done. The
the show.
birthday,
July is
the,
the year has gone fast already,
the
man.
birthday bye bye. Okay, it's fine. Oh, yeah, the year is going by, but that was my birthday month. I will cherish it. Hope, like, crazy enough, like you said, I ain't gonna say slow it down, but dang, slow it down just a little bit. But okay, so we're back to AEW Dynamite. Uh, we start off with we're going to have Hangman versus Moxley for the World Heavyweight Championship in this show. They do a promo package which was so freaking good. Like just in case you need a little bit more hype up, this is how you hype up a match. This was a very good hype up promo. Anything you want to say about the video? It was a video, not a promo, it was a video package.
No, just a solid video package. I mean, AEW, as a company that's, you know, 5 years in, and in many respects still kind of, 5 years for a company is not a lot, especially for a company like this that's become as big as they have in 5 years. Still kind of getting their feet underneath them and learning what works and what doesn't all the time. It's very solid video package, and they're getting better at their video packages all the time. So
Yeah, yeah. All right. So so our first official match, like we said earlier, this is a bracket buster to see what tag team is gonna go against the Hurt Syndicate for the tag team titles. We do now have the bracket. I don't have it with me because no. But
nor do I.
today, yeah, the Dynamite show, we have the Outrunners versus the Young Bucks. The Outrunners come on to their video package. They're all hyped up in all their throwback 80s glory. The Young Bucks come out. They have their theme music, but now they don't have the title when they come out. No. Sorry. They don't even have their theme music. They're just they have the jobber entrance where they're already in the ring, and the freaking title is not Young Bucks. It's talent name, and social media is social media, and that is hilarious. I'm not sure
Yeah,
how long they can keep this up, but keep it up, keep it going until the wheels fall off. Because this really is hilarious. They're like, you don't like you don't do better like this. Dad, good. We're still a founding fathers. But on to the match. This was a great match. Like this was crazy. Those time periods where young bucks you are either in Japan or hurt, it shouldn't the tag team division shouldn't depend on young bucks, but they're sorely missed. Like when they come back, it's like, oh Yeah, the tag team is the tag team division is good, and this is why the Young Bucks probably handpicked most of these guys to be a part of it. Matt Nicholas is running wild. He's probably the best white high flyer in the business right now. Outlet outrunners are just pure adrenaline, and it's so infectious. When this match, it was a couple of near falls where the outrunners were going to win. It's like, whoa, wow, no, it's still going. All right, cool. But but inevitably, the Young Bucks get the pin 1, 2, 3. They move on to the next bracket. Your thoughts on the match and Young Bucks winning?
I'm not necessarily, again, talk about recycling and too many people, getting soft before other people get. I mean, there's this weird. It's got to be a balance because we know that the Young Bucks are one of, if not the best tag team on the planet at the moment, and at the same time, like I don't just want to see them with the championships again. Like it feels too
Yeah.
predictable. It just feels, and nothing to do with them booking themselves as champion or any of that. It just feels like we've been there and done that. We've had that run already several times. Like, and unless you're gonna do something completely unique and different with it, I'm not sure I need to see it again. We know who they are. We know how good they are. I just, it's one of those things where I don't think they need the belt. So we'll see where this ends up going ultimately with them, if they end up winning this tournament and what it looks like against the Hurt Syndicate, they've got to be at the top of the list of favorites, them and FTR. Again, I got to look at the bracket, but them and FTR have to be at the top of the favorites to win the whole thing. So, it'll be interesting to see who comes out of that, gets their shot against the Hurt Syndicate. Um, the match was really good. Both teams are extremely like you said, upbeat and
Yes.
very energetic, right? Both teams, and when they combine together, the energy is through the roof. I mean, it's one of those very crowd pleasing type of matches.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
the outrunners, are always engaged and exciting. The crowd loves them. They're over with the crowd. The Bucks are always fun. The crowd loves to boo the Bucks, and the Bucks are great at it. So no, I this for me, this match was great. I'm not, and I don't have a problem with the outrunners taking the loss. The only problem that the Bucks should be beating the Outrunners. The only problem that I have is just where the Bucks, if the Bucks win this and if they beat the Hurts and again, I'm not saying that's all that's going to happen,
Yeah.
but I get worried about that again. If you're going to do it, it's got to be something different if you're going to give them the titles again. So, but beyond that, again, as we like to say, in a vacuum, amazing match. I mean, I thought it was really fun, and I thought this does a lot for the Outrunners when you could come out and have a really, really solid match against the tag team that everyone basically
Yes.
considers as the best in the world. So yeah, I thought everyone came off looking really good. So
Yeah. No. No. Totally agree. All right. And so next up, the Young Bucks are not fans of losing. Who is? But they do it violently. They beat up the Outrunners. Here comes Okada to help out their elite friend. Like we're not the elite anymore, but we're still friends. So they come out to. Side note. So Renee Paquette asked the Young Bucks the Okada situation, and they're like, "We're just handing him to uh Cal's right now, but we're still good. We're still good. So if anyone, if any, this like what's going on with them, it's like no, we're still friends, but I guess we lost the EVP title. The Hangman is gone. Where the freak? Yeah. Omega is he lost, so he's out. He's not doing anything right now. So the elite right now are not the elite anymore. So cool, but Okada, Young Bucks still cool. So yeah, Okada comes out. We're about to hit outrun for the chair, but here comes Swerve for the save, going straight for Okada, and then he basically does his Batman stomp and takes out the Young Bucks. And Route Runners and Swerve stand tall. All right, cool, cool. I'm pretty sure we're gonna probably get Okada versus like it's very hard to do Collision from Thursday, but they did announce that Swerve versus Okada will be at Forbidden Door. So it's like, okay, cool, that makes hella sense. And this is a very nice build up to that match. But any thoughts?
Um, it's a little odd for the Outrunners to kind of be beating up the Young Bucks. I mean, that's not, and for Okada to have to try to kind of come down. Like, I wasn't
No, no,
totally
no,
sure.
no, no,
Like,
no. So no, no. The Young Bucks were beating up the Outrunners because
right?
they beat them, and Okada helps because uh, so
That's what I thought. I thought that's what I thought. I thought when I was watching it, the Young Bucks were beating up the Outrunners, and
yes.
Okada came out. But I didn't understand at the time why Okada was coming out to save the the Outrunners. That didn't
Oh,
make any
yeah.
that didn't make any sense. So I guess that's where I got in my head for some reason right now talking about it. I guess I got confused. But yeah, because I was thinking that at the time I was watching it, the Bucks were beating up the Outrunners, and Okada came out to save the Outrun, which was very weird. But yeah, I mean, I guess it is what it is. I mean, we'll see if we get a 6-man match, with the Outrunners and Swerve versus Okada and the Bucks. Okay, I guess it is what it is. The Elite's lending Okada to the Don Callis family. Okada is just a mercenary, which is fine. Um, yeah, okay, it is what it is. The whole thing was a little odd, but okay.
Yeah. Well, like
The goal is, like you said, the goal is to get to Swerve and Okada, which they announced on Thursday's Collision. So, in that regard, it makes sense. In hindsight, it makes sense, right? So,
yeah. Cause like the whole thing with Okada is he called out Swerve like, "You beat my friends. They're no longer EVPs." And Swerve was like, "Yeah, what you gonna do about it?" It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, and Swerve's Batman stomped from the top rope onto all the guys on the floor. That was fun. I mean, it's always Swerve. I'm always here for Swerve. So. In that regard, and Swerve and Outrunners together is very interesting to me. I like them both a lot. I mean, I don't know that we will ever see them wrestle together, but I would be here for them doing some sort of a 6-man match.
Yeah. All right. And so next we have a backstage segment between FTR and the Young Bucks. Listen. This like the conversation basically like we know we have a rivalry, but no, like make no doubt about it. We respect you. We respect you too. And like, but if it comes to us in the brackets together, you know how it's gonna turn out. And it's like, yeah, we do. It's like really, both y'all, shut up, get out of here. And so Stokely to put a little bit more spice on it. He walked up to the Young Bucks. He's like, "So y'all are good now. You don't have anything going wrong with FTR." And he's like, "No, we're good." And so like, and you're no longer EVPs, right? Right? Like, no. He's like, "No, we're not longer EVPs." And so Stokely pushes down his crutches. He's like, "Fickle. Everyone around here is just fickle." It's just like, I understand. I understand. Yes, you're both bad guys, but either way, you're still in a rivalry. You're still in a feud. So no, like all rivalries should be continuous. They should not be fully forgiven. Maybe forgiven a little bit, but not fully forgiven. So that was hilarious. Anything on this backstage segment? We talked about it earlier. We should definitely still wait for FTR versus Young Bucks. I don't think we should do it just yet. It still needs some more time. We still need a different angle for it can be a little bit more fresh. But they were teasing just a little bit. I don't think it's going to happen during this bracket.
No, I mean, I thought the segment was fine. It's fun, So I mean, it is Stokely's great, as I said before, and there's not much to say beyond that. I mean, it was a fun promo, and Stokely's great.
How would you feel if FTR and Young Bucks are the finals? Urgh.
Um, I'm googling real quick. I just want to see the bracket because
Okay.
I don't know that I don't remember that I totally saw the graphic. So I'm looking at it here. Where is the bracket? Hey, come on. Show me the bracket. Oh, it's not going to show the full bracket. It has been set. Ah, there it is. There's the picture of the full bracket. Let's see. Oh no, go back. Hold on. So indeed, because he gets agony. So Young Bucks are on one side and FTR is on the other. So chances are good that looking at this, it does seem like they could definitely face each other in the finals. That would be the only time they face each other in the finals. Bang Bang Gang obviously advanced against Big Bill. This is showing. So we get the Guns or Bang Bang Gang versus FTR. Next, the winner goes into the finals. We had the Young Bucks beat the Outrunners, and now we've got what is it? Oh, Paragon versus the Gates of Agony will be the next semifinal match. Man. So it's either going to be FTR, the Bucks, the Guns or Bang Bang Gang, or Gates of Agony, or Paragon. So those are one of those is going to be the contender, and you know, depending on if the winner of this tag team tournament is going to beat the Hurt Syndicate and become new tag team champions, it's probably got to be FTR or the Bucks. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that I see the Paragon's good enough, but I don't know that they would do that. Like I don't know that they see the Paragon. I think they see the Paragon or those guys, the Roderick Strongs, the Kyle O'Reillys, at the very top of kind of the mid card, right? And maybe not necessarily at that main event. So I don't know that they would win. I'm not even sure that they're going to get the win against the Gates of Agony. I guess the Gates of Agony are getting, the rub with Ricochet. So in theory, if you want to back Ricochet's new faction and give him a push, put the titles or, put them in a match against the Hurt Syndicate. And I suppose, I don't, they have the size and the strength to beat the Hurt Syndicate, but I don't think they've been booked that way. And I'd be surprised. It would be a major upset for the Gates of Agony to come out of this tournament with both the Bucks and FTR and even some of the other teams in it still, and then go on to beat the Hurt Syndicate. So I'm not sure I see that happening yet, but man, what a great push it would be for them. Now, I see this, it's got to be probably FTR and the Bucks in the finals. Who's going to be, FTR's not losing to the Outrunners, I don't think. And the Outrunners, wait, I'm sorry, hold on for just one sec. Was it the Outrunners? No, Bang Bang Gang. FTR is not losing to the Bang Bang Gang, and I don't think that the Bucks are losing to either the Gates of Agony or the Paragon, whoever comes out of that match. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's probably going to be FTR and the Bucks in the finals, and one of them is going to face the Hurt Syndicate. And again, if you want to take the belts off of them and put it on someone to re-elevate your tag team division, not that the Hurt Syndicate has done anything to bring it down in any way, shape, or form, but to light a fire underneath it, I guess having one of the two considered best tag teams on the planet holding your titles, I guess can't argue with that. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's seeing the bracket now, seeing them both on the bracket, seeing that there's only 8 teams to begin with. It feels kind of predictable that it's going to be FTR versus the Bucks, especially with some of the other teams involved. So I don't know.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? I did say that the brackets were a good way to showcase your tag team. Unfortunately, even with this showcase, if you're not FTR or Young Bucks, the gravity of are they going to beat Hurt Syndicate? Are they going to beat Hurt Syndicate? Isn't that big? Whereas, no matter what, if you're not FTR or Young Bucks, we don't believe that you're going to beat Hurt Syndicate. So, to that degree, I would prefer this would have been as a gauntlet. For some reason, gauntlets are a instant heat up for any person. I'm thinking about when Lyra and Bailey was just from the tag team and they had to face they were in a gauntlet to see who faced the tag team champions at WrestleMania. They were new. We're like, oh, it's a mixed match tag team. By the end of the last match, you're like, oh snap! They actually can beat these. That's why we were so mad that Bailey didn't make WrestleMania, because we were actually invested in Lyra and Bailey as a tag team. So with this, it is what it is. We have a bracket, but if it's not FTR or the Young Bucks, they have a big hill to climb in hyping. I wish it was Gates of Agony. Me personally, I love them. I think they have the look and the potential to beat Hurt Syndicate. But you said that'll be a very offset win. And either way, you would have to get them another win for them to have, hype up that they could beat Hurt Syndicate. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in charge. So next up, commercial break. FTR. Then we have another backstage segment with MJF and Shelton Benjamin. So last week, MJF got hemmed up just a little bit because he was running his mouth as per usual, and you don't do that to you don't do that to people.
A little bit.
But
Bobby grabbed him by the throat and almost put him through the wall.
Yeah, like when you have to have the senses of who you can talk smack to. You would think MJF knew Bobby Lashley was not that person, but evidently he was on his stick and he got hemmed up. Bobby did a thumbs down. So now we're backstage and just trying to smooth things over with Shelton Benjamin, someone who he always had a better ear for in this whole group. And so, of course, he gonna act like it was Bobby's fault. It's like, hey, Shelton, how you doing, my man? Listen, we can just bypass what Bobby did last night. That was Bobby did last week. That was so weird. They're like, you, me, and MVP, we can still be together and get this thing done. And so Shelton was like, to paraphrase, boy, you think I'm stupid or dumb? It's like, sir, no, this is not what's happening right now. He's like, MVP's not here because he can't even look at you right now. And honestly, he was like, the only reason why we gave you a shot because of MVP. He's like, and then side note, this watch you remember this watch? And so he's like, yeah, I gave it to you, Shelton. He's like, this is the best little T-Move knockoff I've ever seen. So right then and there, I saw through your little rant of what you was trying to do. You take this cheap watch back and go back to where you came from. As for me, thumbs down. Close the door. MJF is pissed. He's like, get the camera in my face. He's like, sir, you asked for the camera to come here, so that you can't be mad at the cameraman being here because you told him to come here. That's just side note. Okay, so evidently we're doing the reversal. We're doing the reversal of what we were doing to start the group, where everybody gave a thumbs up for MJF to come in. Now I guess everyone needs to get a thumbs down for kick him out. Bobby gave him a thumbs down. Sean gave him a thumbs down. I guess it's up to MVP to see if he stays in the group. I'm not sure how I feel about this. On one hand, I'm like, yes, it is too soon to break up this group, especially when we did a whole freaking month-long series to get him inside. Now, just to him to break up just like for nothing seems really, really weird. So on one hand, I am happy that it seems like we're not picking him up just yet. On the other hand, it's like, are we really doing the reverse thumbs down? It's like, what are we doing? What are the rules? So I guess next week, if MVP comes back, we'll give a definitive yes or no if he's still in the group. What are your thoughts? Do you still want MJF in the Hurt Syndicate, or do you think, hey, let's just cut our losses? It was a nice little story, but now we should just stop because evidently we know what we're doing.
We use the word egregious, and I think that unfortunately at the moment this is reaching that level. This little promo on screen was fine between Shelton and MVP. As far as what technically happened, I think was fine. They both acted fine. There wasn't a gap in that regard, like egregious in that regard. It's just from the beginning, it's been bad storytelling. Week after week after week with the whole thumbs thing and doing it or not doing it, it was bad storytelling. Trying to buy Bobby Lashley's thumb was terrible storytelling. The fact that I understand Bob doesn't like him, but like, just the fact that they never even had one moment of pretending to be somewhat okay. Right. Why do this at all? What? It feels at this moment that we're really doing this just because we want to have people put their thumbs up or thumbs down on television. And in that regard, it feels really dumb. So, no. To join a group for a week, it didn't even benefit him. He won the gauntlet. It's not like they helped him. You know what I mean? So the whole thing to me is just, it's bad. And you have okay. Bobby Lashley, there's not many people that are going to do anything to or that are going to stand up against Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is that guy, right? In that regard. So him intimidating MJF is fine. Nothing against Shelton Benjamin, but Shelton Benjamin intimidating MJF is off brand for the MJF character, it feels to me.
A little bit.
It
Just a
it
little bit,
feels
yeah.
like MJF wouldn't just be like, okay, Shelton, don't you know what I mean? Like, nah, like
Yeah.
maybe with Bobby because Bobby's Bobby. Like, no one wants to see Bobby, right? But
Right.
Shelton Benjamin is MJF is maybe one of your pillars, maybe your biggest star, is some people could argue in your company, and Shelton Benjamin is not. Yes, he's a big deal at the moment because he's part of your tag team championships and he's part of the Hurt Syndicate. And I absolutely love Shelton Benjamin. I think hands down, he's one of the best wrestlers. Okay, hands down, he's been a very solid wrestler his whole career. I won't say best wrestler, but he's been a very solid wrestler. I love Shelton Benjamin. It still doesn't feel right that he's intimidating MJF like that. So in that regard, I thought that came off a little weird for MJF's character and personality. And yeah, I'm not here for any of this, honestly. I think MJF just needs to either at this point, MJF needs to just cut his losses and walk away. Fuck you guys. You guys clearly don't want me here. I'm done with this and walk away. I don't even want to wait for MVP's thumb. Because what difference does it make if you already have 2 thumbs down? You're going to stay in a group where clearly only one person maybe kind of wants you? Like, I mean, who would want to do that? Like, nobody wants to be somewhere where they're clearly not wanted, right? I mean, I guess MJF, because he feels like it's benefiting him in some way, but I haven't even seen that yet. Like, I'm not even sure I've seen how him being with them has benefited him at all. So in that regard, yeah, the whole thing is dumb, and it's starting to borderline on egregious to me. Just the whole thing.
I can't disagree with you on any of that right there. Especially when MJF had Wardlow. Like you're intimidating Wardlow, so you can't yes, if like Bobby and the Hurt Syndicate are a different breed, but like that was still a big dude you're intimidating and you're calling shots on. So it's like, yeah, I feel like he needs some kind of, if we're going to continue on with this trip, it feels like MJF needs some kind of dirt on Hurt Syndicate to make them stay with them. And that would be okay if you're going to continue on with this story. If you're not going to get the hurt, if you're not going to give MJF the dirt on Hurt Syndicate, then yeah, just cut the losses because it was yeah. All right, and so now it's time for not the main event, but top of the hour. We get Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Everyone is banned from ringside. There is no DQ. It is a solid wrestling match. Ding, ding, ding. Here comes Moxley out. And this was I liked how Moxley looked. It wasn't white shirt with, Death Riders. It was vintage paradigm shift, black vest Moxley. I'm like, yeah, I do remember you. I do like you. Just FYI. Yeah, I do remember you. And here comes Heyman through the front. The bell rings. This match was so good. I think I don't know what we were expecting. I guess because someone said it, and I gotta go back and look at it. But it feels like the Moxley reign of the Death Riders and being champion. None of his solid matches where it wasn't any DQs or anything like that. They were not great. I'm not gonna say good. They weren't great, right? There's nothing to write home about. They probably ended with a disqualification, and that's why nobody remembers them. But this was so freaking good. Like, just in case you forgot, Moxley can go in the ring. He's not he's not carrying Cross where he's just all character and the bell rings and it's dumb. No, he actually can do 15-20 minutes and it's entertaining as hell. And SP3 said it, and I might be inclined to agree until otherwise. Yeah, Hangman's opponents as a single competitor, there's like his wrestlemates in the ring are Swerve and Moxley. I think right now we can confirm like he like those are the two competitors where it's like it's gonna be a great match. No matter what you're doing, it's gonna be a great match and be very entertaining. Like, yeah, so it was love this match. I love like one time they were going at it and Heyman gave him a desperate punch, and then Moxley was like, nah, you can do better than that. And he's like, nah, give me a little more, like, it's like, I missed you. I don't think I missed you, but it's like, I wasn't opposed to the Death Riders. I really wasn't. I saw the vision. I didn't like some of the toss. I didn't like some of the angles we went with down the road. But Moxley by himself, it really is like, just, yeah. I like you by yourself too. It really was that little revelation. We had we had some outside pile drivers to the freaking, it was on either announce table or ring or barricade. It was so good. But at the end of the match, where Hangman was about to finish him off, here comes the Death Riders. It wasn't that bad though. So scenario wise, here comes Claudio and Yuta coming through the coming through the crowd. Security's there to make sure that no one's interferes. But while they're distracted by them, Marina comes from the side, tosses Moxley the belt. Moxley hits Hangman. 1, 2, is that 3? Oh, listen. I was not. My mind was still on. This is not happening. They're not giving the belt back. But for people who are desperately scared that Moxley was going to get this belt back, this like you made everybody so scared with that 1, 2, 3, and then Marina's just going. I love Marina in this role as the cult follower. She's like, it didn't work, and then the security finally sees her. The ref beats her out, and she's just like, no, and she looks at Moxley like, I'm sorry, Mox. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I was like, I want her to be with Moxley forever, because she did remembering what she was from the beginning as just a bodyguard, and now just her just fully believing in the Death Rider cause. She has grown leaps and bounds as a muscle for a wrestler. Like she really knows how to be that person on the sideline helping your client or person out. And I don't think they should break them up just yet. At least Marina and Moxley shouldn't break up just yet. I really feel like it, because I love them together. I really do. So she gets out. Heyman's back up, buckshot, but that didn't do anything for the 1, 2, 3. A little tussle, red eye, one more buckshot, 1, 2, 3, definitively retains his title. Hangman wins the freaking, and he retains. He is still your AEW World Heavyweight Champion. This was great. I have one question. Why was this not the main event? I was like, that is so. Listen. It feels like, Tony Khan, AEW, you made a mistake. It was a Revolution where it was the beautiful ending match, the Hollywood ending match with that Revolution. Wherever it was, you made a mistake, and you didn't put that match at the end. It was, you all, but you gotta let it go, boo boo. You gotta let it go, because this not being the main event was kind of like, why? Honestly, why? But side note to that, this was a great match. I don't know what we do from here with the Death Riders, but it really did make me like, I love Moxley by himself. So if we can just disband and then come back together if need be, I would love that. But this was so good. I am glad that Hangman retains his title. On to the next. This feels like the closing of the book officially. And as a Moxley fan, he needed this. Like, for people who were doubting, oh, Moxley's washed, this is dumb. It's like, just so you can remember, Moxley is still Moxley. He probably needs to take a vacation and come back, but Moxley is still freaking Moxley. And when he comes back by himself, I'll be all for this. This was a good end to Moxley's reign. Yes, the death match was cool, but to remind people that he's still wrestler, this was so good. All right, your thoughts. Sorry, I know I ran a little bit longer than I should have.
Uh, yeah, I mean, you basically touched on all the points I wanted to touch on. I mean, I think I agree with you 100%. The match itself was really really good. Um, I as a I'm going to use the word pure, not necessarily in reference to Ring of Honor and the pure title, but as what I like to call like a kind of a pure wrestling fan. When you get rid of all the gimmicks, and I'm not saying that death matches don't have their place and all those things, I like them, but when you strip it all down and you just put two men in the ring that can really wrestle, you get what you get, and this is what you get, and it's phenomenal and it's great. It reminds you of all the reasons why John Moxley is who he is. I thought this was a perfect way to remind everybody, like you said, how good he is. And this is the match that I really wanted. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's the death match is fine and all those things, the spectacle of it all, the blood and all those things, everyone involved, it makes it all extremely exciting and all those things. But this is really where my heart is, and this is where I think Moxley still shines the best, honestly, for me. This is the Moxley that I love, and if this is the Hangman Page we're gonna get for this run,
Yes.
he's gonna win me over. So I thought this was absolutely perfect. There wasn't, other than the minor interference, which it is still the Death Riders, it is still Moxley, so it feels like it's kind of obligatory. And since it didn't have any real impact on the
Yes.
match, I'm fine with it, which was the real key. Yeah, I mean, I thought this was about as close to perfect as you can really get, as far as a match goes. And it's for me, it's so far a Dynamite match of the year candidate, and that's on a different level than other ones. Like, it's not. This isn't an Osprey Fletcher match. This isn't a Omega Takeshita match. It's a different style. It's a
Yes.
different situation. And at the same time, I think it's equally as good. The things I love about those things, the high flying, the intensity, the speed, all those things transfers over to here. The strength, the power, the ground and pound, the striking and all that stuff. I thought it came off perfect. I mean, I thought that's the Moxley I love. I can get behind this Hangman. If this is the run he's going to have, and I don't know what it looks like for Hangman after this, it feels more definitive for Moxley with Darby after this than it
Mm.
does for Hangman. It feels like Hangman's kind of a little hanging in the wind for what might come next. So we'll see what ultimately ends up happening. But if the reign looks like this and we see this Hangman the whole time, and I'm here for it. I mean, I thought this was great. I thought
Oh,
this saved the show from what I thought was a little bad earlier. So I was much happier after this. I say the same thing to you. I agree with the same thing. I agree with you. Gonna say the same thing. I don't understand why this wasn't the main event. That being said, the idea that Ricochet and Mark Briscoe can get a main event spot on Dynamite is great. That's great, Tony. I love that. These guys deserve it. They put in the hard work, all that. It just seems weird to have what maybe it's definitely two of your biggest stars, maybe your two biggest stars at the moment,
yes.
wrestling for your biggest title in the middle of your show. It feels like it almost devalues the championship a little bit. Like, you're just booking it as a match in the middle of the show. It's not even the opening match. Like, the opening and closing matches are supposed to be the two that bookend the whole show. They're supposed to be the best matches of the show. And here, the best match of the show is definitely in the middle of the show. And that's fine. It is what it is. It's a weird placing, especially when you have these two. If this was another title and maybe guys that weren't Moxley and Hangman, that's one thing. This is the AEW World Championship, and John Moxley versus Hangman Page, like, in the middle of a Dynamite. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy for free TV. I'm happy to see it on free TV. It should have been the main event. And
Yeah.
and to compound it, nothing wrong with Ricochet and Mark Briscoe. I love Ricochet. I love Mark Briscoe. I'm really high on Mark Briscoe at the moment.
Right.
It paled in comparison to this match, unfortunately. Even with the extra post match stuff, which is what it is, it paled in comparison. I mean, when you really look back on it, bad booking to not have swapped those two matches. Ricochet and Mark Briscoe should have been in this spot, and these guys should have been the main event.
Or but not even put them on both. Not even put them on both of the what you call it. Not put them on the same show. Like you could have done
Yeah,
Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe on Collision, talking about
yeah.
people like do the whole MJF. Like, see, like that would have been a good Collision storyline where MJF's trying to get like we start off the top of MJF being in the freaking locker room trying to get each other back on the side. Then we end Collision with Mark Briscoe wins and calls out MJF. That would have been a good little. People don't think. Sorry. Okay. But no, like that's so freaking simple, and you don't pay me. Like, I mean, if you pay people to think like this,
Right?
but I'm glad you bring up Darby. That's the part what I missed where when the Death Riders were getting let out. Is Darby in the freaking balcony doing his best stinger splash and taking everybody freaking out, and Moxley's like, bro, when did you get? Like, I love Moxley's face. Like, when did you get here? And like you said, that is a great little transitional spin-off rivalry. Like, yes, let Moxley and Darby finish that off while Heyman does his thing. I think with Heyman, we know that it's gonna be either we're gonna know he's gonna go against Swerve, he's gonna go against Osprey. Doesn't matter when. His disappointment, not sure, but it's nice to have Moxley. Like, okay, yeah, Moxley and Darby, y'all
Well, and
still big.
MJF's holding that. MJF's holding the money in the bank. I don't want to use the WWE term.
It's money
He's
in the
using
bank.
that opportunity, right? He's
Yes,
got that. He's got that title shot opportunity. So
yes.
he's sitting on that. So at some point, that's going to be a match too. I don't, you know. So if it's Moxley, MJF, Osprey, and Swerve, and they're all quality matches, I mean that's a hell of a run. I don't know which ones you win, which ones you lose. I don't know how you play it all out and book it or whatever. I mean, there's nothing wrong with those four men as your whatever.
Right.
So I mean that's so
So I'm gonna tie it together. I'm not sure when it happened in the show, but I
right.
will say right now. So Heyman's in the back, and it's just like great, like great, like congratulations, Hanger, congratulations, you won, right? Like just the stupid MJF freaking voice that's so annoying and hilarious at the same freaking time. And so he's like, "Well, since you won, how about you and me just how about like I'm not sure why you're so scared of facing me for this title, bud." And so it's like, "Well, how about you go over your fear and just give me a match?" And so Heyman's like, "No, heard my French, dumbass. I'm not doing like this is not naive. Like you said, this Heyman run's gonna be much better than his first one because he's not naive. He knows the rules, right? And he's like, so you realize that I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you a match, and you have that contract, so you get essentially two matches. You stupid. So like, he's like, so either you sign that contract and that's where you get this match, or you actually wrestle to get a match. Like, how about this? How about you face Mark Briscoe, someone I actually respect, and if you beat him, then I'll give you a match. And then it's just fuming, and I love Renee being a part of this interviewer because she's the best. Like, her facial expressions are so hilarious. Where she's just like, "You so stupid. You tried it. It was fun." And that was hilarious. And so that sets up the main event. But now we're gonna talk. Yeah, I jumped back and back, but now again after the great AEW Heavyweight Championship match, we're gonna get the women. It's like, what are we doing, man? But we have Timeless Tony Storm and what's her name? Alex Ventura. What? It's Alex
You
Windsor.
don't want to
Sorry,
call her Alex.
Alex.
Right?
Alex what?
Alex Windsor. Sorry.
Alex Windsor.
I'm gonna claim out Alex Osprey.
Alex Windsor. Your mama called you Windsor. I'm gonna call you Windsor. Going up against each other. Oh, sorry, yeah. Tony's. You got me all flustered. I'm gonna punch you in your face.
Okay.
Alex Windsor and Timeless Tony Storm versus Athena and Billy Starks. This, like I said, a very nice little way to hype up Athena and get some eyes on Billy and Alex. This was a great match, even though it had a very tough act to follow. um Alex Windsor and Tony Storm are actually really good together as a tag team. I'm not sure if they teamed up in the Indies, but they actually did a great job. One little beautiful, cute little spots was they danced towards the they clapped up, they danced towards the corner and put a boot to Athena while giving a clothesline to Billy. But Billy and Athena, they're if you're gonna put a whole lot of time in training your minion, you better act like a true tag team, and they did. I love this one spot where Billy suplexed Alex and Athena super kicked her. Like, dang, go. No. She basically monkey flipped Alex, and then Athena put a freaking spine buster to her. I'm like, heck yeah, let's freaking go. And of course, it was a time where Alex was getting her behind whoop. She was trying to get to Tony, but at any chance, Billy was taking Tony off of the edge of the ring, the turn, like yeah, the edge of the ring. But sooner or later, Alex gives Tony the hot tag, and Alex comes out to Billy with Mongolian freaking chops, and it's like I love that she's perfecting her character because every new move feels like a timeless Tony Storm new move. Like she's not doing tope suicidas or 450 splashes. No, she's timeless. So of course she's doing the rear naked choke. Of course she's doing Mongolian chest chops. I love every part of it. It's hilarious. And so she's getting the hot tag, but we did see it on film, and I'm glad that Taz pointed it out. It was sorry, blah, blah, blah. Billy was in the corner. Tony was gonna get a hip attack, but Athena got a little secret tag before she did the hip attack, so Athena was officially legal. And so as Tony was attacking Billy, Athena goes up to the top rope. Beautiful old face, sweet. That's probably the best move on for women. No, the best move on God's green earth. I'm gonna say for women, but no, on like no, I'm trying to think of men and women. That's just the best finisher of all time. 1, 2, 3. Athena has pinned the women's world heavyweight championship, and Athena is celebrating. I was trying to help Athena, but Billy she just tosses her into the ring of the barricade, and Athena was like, "It's only a matter of time, Tony. Tick tock. I'm coming for your AEW championship, and my reign will be forever." Athena and Billy stand tall. This was a great match. Everyone has good chemistry in this match, and that's what happens when you get your reps up. Uh, so we're not trying to compare this to Money in the Bank, but essentially is you can cash it at any time. So there was some question about why Athena didn't do it after she beat Tony. It's like why wouldn't you just sign the contract and do it now? We all know you do it at a premium live event or pay-per-view, but it is like, ma'am, she is down. So they have to alter this contract thing. If nothing, don't do it as Money in the Bank, and you can do it at any time. Just have it where if you want a match, you just have to sign it and tell us the date. Like at least like that little bit of a difference makes you look less stupid. But all in all, this was a great match. Any thoughts?
Um, I mean, I thought it was good. Tony Storm has been in her bag for a while. Basically everything she does is brilliant at the moment. The Mongolian chops are great, like you said, harkening back to something that's timeless.
Mm-hmm.
So in that regard, yeah, no, I mean, Alex Windsor proved that she's a solid wrestler in her match against Athena. I thought that she looked good here too. Billy Starks has proven over her matches recently, and just in her time with Athena, and even when Athena's not necessarily around, but in her association with Athena, that she's growing and getting much better. She's very fun to watch, and Athena and Tony Storm are obviously both incredible. So you get what you get with these four women in the ring. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm a little surprised that Athena got the pin, but the O face is like you said, it's debatably one of the best finishers around, or ever, maybe even all time.
Yeah.
When it's done perfectly, it looks amazing, right? So,
Yes.
um, and yeah, I mean, I guess I get why she got the pin. You want to hype up the fact that Athena can actually pin Tony Storm, to try to add a
Well,
little
I
bit more
guess.
substance to the meat on the bone for their match. At the same time, you got to be careful. And I don't think it did, but you always got to be careful with the champion getting pinned
Yes.
clean before a match
Right.
by the person that they're about to wrestle. It'd be one thing if somehow it worked out that Billy got the clean pin. That might be slightly different. I mean, it's weird because it's Billy and she shouldn't be pinning Tony Storm, but to have
Right.
Athena get the clean pin over Tony Storm 3 weeks before their match could be perceived a little odd, but
It's
they
like,
did it in such a way that I don't think it made Tony Storm look weak. So I
right.
think it more made Athena look, whatever, like more of a reminder of how good Athena is. So in that
Yeah.
regard,
Yeah.
I thought it was very good. I enjoyed it. I liked it. So
Yeah. All right.
I,
And
I
like I
do
said,
think it's unfair that it had to follow Moxley and Hangman.
like,
I mean, I mean, you only give the women one match. You only give them one segment. It's in the third hour, so we're talking what 9:20, 9:30, whatever it is, and it's
yeah.
after the best match of the night for the world championship. So it's not a lot of room to be successful. And at the same time, I thought they took it and ran with it. I mean, they did the best that they could do with what they were given. So
Facts. All right. So I skipped over it, but before, so this happened before our our men's heavyweight championship. We get a
is this Christian
promo
Cage?
from Christian Cage. Yes, I was like,
Okay.
I
I
have
was
it
like,
in my notes.
are we gonna get to Christian Cage? Because we were
Well,
almost to Ricochet and Briscoe. I was like, what about Christian?
I
What
have my notes, but that match was so good.
Raven?
I forgot it. So Christian Cage comes out, and Tony Schiavone, talks back about everything that's happened to him. The whole, you got betrayed by your patriarchy, your family, so to speak. Edge came out, but he really didn't. He didn't really save you. He was actually there for FTR, but since you're there, you welcome. And so he's like, how are you feeling right now? And Christian was like, look here, Tony. What's up, D? He's like, look here, Shivani. My name is Christian Cage, and I'm asshole. It's like, okay, good start, good start. And so basically, to pontificate, because this was a very long promo, so I'm just gonna hit the hot spots. He was like, listen, I know what I was doing, but I make no bones about what I wanted to accomplish. I want to be AEW World Championship, and I did not care who I was going to. What's the word? Who I had, what I had to do, what underhanded things I had to, what underhanded games I had to play to get there. Now Nick says that I didn't stick to the plan when it came to the contract signing. Well, honestly, I didn't think that those three nut jobs, so to speak, could could execute the plan. So yes, I went off and what's the word? And I took a risk. It's all about risk. Those three have been riding my coattails about all the risks I have taken. They don't know what to do. And this was a very long promo, so it was a couple of stutters, a couple of stumbles, and
Okay.
from Christian Cage. And he got it back when the crowd was trying to stop him. He was like, "I'm conducting business. I'm conducting
Like
my
four
business."
times. Like four
It's
times to draw out this long behind ass
it was
promo.
a very long. We're trying to hit a lot of spots here, but as he told the crowd, "I'm conducting my business." And so as of right now, and so to conclude the matter, so Nick Wayne says that he has to show to me. No. He's like, no. So Nick Wayne says that he has gotten rid of me. No. I have disowned my family. You mean nothing to me. End of the promo. He goes up the stairs, and here comes Kip Sabian to block him, and Nick Wayne out of nowhere. It actually looked pretty cool. Nick Wayne out of nowhere just blasted him with a freaking the ROH belt. I'm like, whoa, that actually looked impactful. And then they get up Christian Cage and they give him a concerto, not with the chair on his face, and he hits him down. No, it was a side to side vintage concerto. The angle on it was not good, and then went another like, but how it looked, but the stand up concerto looks better if you just have the camera in the right angle. But and then Nick Wayne gets up to him and says, "You're not just owning me, we just own you." And so, yes, this was a very long promo. It feels like they're trying to hit a whole lot of spots, and we could have just progressed. We didn't have to hit all the spots. One of the spots was, I'm still gonna be Christian Cage, the douchebag, but I'm gonna be a baby face as a douchebag. It didn't really like transcend all the way there. I think that's where the whole thing, Christian Cage, I'm an asshole thing came from. And I would have loved that if that was just the talking point. But no, we also had to hit on the Nick Wayne situation where he got betrayed. We also had to hit on the Edge situation where how dare Edge tells him to go find himself and he knows exactly who he is and he takes risks. Like, it feels like it was 3 promos. If we would have just done each promo at a different time and I try to put them all together, Christian Cage probably would have done a better job at it. But it is what it is. We still love him. We're gonna give Christian Cage some grace because again, that was a whole lot of talking. We know where this leads. It's a matter of how we're going to get there per se. He got concertoed, so I'm going to assume he's going to be out for at least a month. Concertos you really don't come back from right away, so we'll see how this gets to the destination. Any thoughts?
I mean, Christian is usually, very flawless on the microphone. This wasn't one of those occasions. Like you
Yeah.
said, I think it's because I agree with you. This is essentially 3 promos in one. They tried to do too much, and you could tell he was doing too much. That being said, it's fine. Ultimately, he explained everything he needed to explain.
Yes.
Um, he was conducting his business. If I have to hear that
Exactly.
again, it felt like a rest hold in a match. It felt like
Yes.
the headlock for 5 minutes in a match. It's like So, but he did touch on everything. I think what he said is he was kind of that MJF, I'm your douchebag kind of thing. Where like,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know that he's a baby face, but I'm your asshole. That's just who I am, and I'm not really going to apologize for doing what I do. That's what you
Yes.
do to try to get to the top, and you guys still love me to a certain extent. I mean, that's kind of
That was
um,
the feel.
which is great. I mean, I'm here for that. It's not a concerto. The concerto is the on the mat, the head between them, and I mean, yes, you hit
See,
him with 2 chairs, but that's not a concerto. So I'm not.
it
That's not on you.
no
That's on the announcers. They called it a concerto, and I don't. For me, it's not the same thing. He got hit with 2 chairs. It's not really a
No,
concerto.
eventually, no. Go back to 2000s when Eddie Christian started doing it. No, it was them both hitting a chair against someone's face at the same time. The whole single
Well,
thing is because they broke up. But yes, a vintage concerto was when they did it at the same time to someone's head on both sides.
well, maybe I have forgotten that, or I have to go back and see that. But needless to say, at the time, that's not what it has become. Let's put it that way. So
I
it felt
understand.
odd when they were
Yes.
calling it that. At the same time, it
Yes.
is what it is. I often forget stuff, and I'm not necessarily the world's greatest wrestling historian. So if indeed that's what's going on, then they're hearkening back to that, then all the better. If it's like one of those
Yeah.
things like you used to do the concerto like this, so we're going to do it like this on you, then that's fine. But for me in the moment, I was like, wait a second. Again, it's not even a nitpick. It's not a complaint. I was just like, that's not a concerto. But again, I thought that was a very good spot. I thought it actually brought a lot of life to a promo that by the time it was done, you were like, I'm glad this is over. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, I think he needed that little Nick Wayne at the end. So I enjoyed that Nick Wayne, Kip Sabian stuff at the end. So all in all, I think it's fine. I mean, it was a down moment for me on the show to a certain extent, which is unfortunate because it's Christian
Yeah.
Cage, but it's mostly just
Yeah.
because he had a couple little gaffes and they were, like you said, they were really doing too much. That's really 3 different promos. So,
Yes.
um, so yeah,
But he's still our father. We'll give you
he,
his
he
grace.
is, he is.
He is.
But now Nick has 2 dead dads. I thought that was a great line.
So
Dead dads, oh, dude.
okay. And so
You
now
definitely are an asshole.
you are. Right? And then we have a little Willow promo backstage talking about Tekla. Sorry, I won't say Tekla. Tekla. It seems like okay, I'm not mad at it at all. And so she says Tekla's name. She's like, you know what? They call me something. What is it? What is it? Like,
She
so
said they got the Triangle of Madness because she's the trapezoid of trapezoid.
listen, it's Willow. So what? It
I
works.
water. I was
It
dying.
works. It works.
I
And
thought it
so
was
she's
hysterical.
look, like I said, it's Willow, so it absolutely works to perfection. And she's like, hey, if you want to see me in the ring. This isn't over. So yeah, so we have Statlander obsessing about Willow, but we'll move on to the next thing. I am not mad at it. Let's see if you if you want Statlander to be Willow's little stalker while she does other stuff, sure. Let's see how that works. We've done like 4 innovations of Statlander, Willow stalker. Let's see how that fares with her. Let's see if that gets her anywhere fast. But yeah, not mad at it. Hopefully, near future, far future, Willow will be our AEW Heavyweight Championship. But in the meantime, between time, her versus Tekla, cool. Anything else you want to say about this promo?
No, I mean, yeah, I guess so because I'm going to say something. I thought it was hysterical. I thought it was hysterical. I love Willow. I, it's going to be very interesting because I could see kind of a weird dynamic kind of brewing. So if she goes after Thekla or the Triangle of Madness, there's 3 of them and 1 of her, right? So
Yes.
you're already stepping into kind of deep waters. Now, to be fair, 2 of them are Julia Hart and Sky Blue, so it is what it is. But
More
um,
so Sky
it's still technically is 3 against 1 to a certain extent. So it feels like there's, like you said, we have Willow, we have Stat the Stalker, right? And she's gonna be
Yes.
like this deranged fan that's gonna ultimately like help Willow, even though she doesn't like her because Willow's taking on the trio by herself. You know what I mean? And maybe we end up getting some sort of weird kind of team up between Willow and Stat, some sort of weird kind of and they wrestle because she should have someone with her, right? I mean, she can't wrestle 3
Yes.
against 1. And so,
Yes.
I mean, in the chance of even if she gets Thekla in a singles match, you still have to deal with Julia Hart and Sky Blue on the side or whatever. I mean, it's still going to be 3 against 1 indirectly, right? So she's got to at least have somebody in her corner. And right now, it seems very weird. It could be very interesting, kind of meaty, juicy, kind of like you said, Stalker Stack comes in to kind of help her and whatever. Like, yeah, I'm kind of here for that. So she's got to have someone. So in that regard, that sounds like fun. I mean, and I'm here for anything Willow does. So I'm excited to see just anything she does. So
Facts. All right. And so now our official main event, we have Mark
I'm for it.
Briscoe and Ricochet going one-on-one. We earlier in the day we had Mark Briscoe promo where he was like on MJF. He's like, "Listen, I'm getting sick of you bringing up my brother's name, and I'm gonna get you." And Ricochet just casually walks up with Gates of Agony. He's like, "Listen, you're focused on everywhere but where it needs to be. Our match later on tonight, where I'm going to obliterate you." And of course he ended, "Aha!" And it's just like, huh? Okay, cool. Like it really like this match, correct me if I'm wrong, kind of came out of nowhere. Usually it's like a hype up match or something happened before this where we're doing this match to be the main event. Like if it was like, hey, let's lock up, cool. But you're the main event. So I need some kind of background of why we're doing this match. But hey, it is what it is. The match was great. Mark Briscoe is just energy times 5 in every match. I don't think I've seen the match where he was in AEW and he didn't give 110%. And Ricochet is Ricochet. No matter what character he does, Ricochet is gonna be that dude in the ring. So great match. Freaking Mark Briscoe those freaking chops to the chest, but Ricochet is quick and fast. Ricochet tries to cheat with a chair, but the ref takes it away. And surprisingly enough, uh, Mark Briscoe beats Ricochet 1, 2, 3. Here's the push for Mark Briscoe. I am not mad at it. We've been asking for this last year, and it's happening. I'm cool with it. And after the before I go to the post match, anything you want to say about this match?
I'm in a vacuum. I'm happy to see both these guys getting an opportunity to main event a big show like Dynamite, right? I mean that feels good,
Right.
especially for a guy like Mark Briscoe, who I feel like is basically kind of an underdog, right? And he's getting a huge push now. It feels a little weird to. It feels like you're pushing both men at the same time. And so to have them face each other and one take a loss is kind of odd. But at the same time, you're in the same company, you're kind of on the same level. I mean, wrestlers wrestle, you fight. So, I mean, ultimately, it is what it is, right? I mean, it'd
Right.
make a little more sense if one of them had a title, because I always think all the fuel you need is you have a title and I want it.
Yes.
Without that, there should be a little bit more meat on the bone with the story, like why we're actually here doing all of this. But again, Mark Briscoe has kind of
Right.
just been involved in everything. And Ricochet has been getting a big push, him in the Gates of Agony. So it makes sense why they're kind of in the ring together. I am a little surprised Mark Briscoe got the win. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at whoever got the win, but it
Not at
kind of
all.
surprised me. I kind of
Yes.
assumed, especially with the Gates of Agony, that that Ricochet would end up getting the win. So I think it looked good for Briscoe. It looks good for Briscoe that he got the win, not only against Ricochet, but really against Ricochet and the Gates of Agony to a certain extent. I mean, he outlasted three
Yes.
men to a certain extent. I mean, they weren't totally involved, but there was enough little whatever to make it, where I thought for sure they
Right.
were going to end up beating Mark Briscoe. So Briscoe getting the win is fun. I like that. Again, I still think it should have swapped with the main event, or it should have swapped with Moxley and Hangman for the main event spot. But,
Yes.
the match itself in a vacuum is fine and great for both of them to be able to be getting a main event spot to wrestle each other. So, and like you said, Mark Briscoe is just he's excitement personified, right? I mean, everything this is he this is the antithesis of Okada for me, right? Like everything he does is up here in fourth gear, and I'm not talking speed wise. I'm talking energy wise, excitement wise,
Yes.
spectacle wise. And then you've got a guy down here. You've got the Okadas, the kind of Randy Ortons, the guys that are just like it feels like they're moving in mud. It feels like they don't want to be there. They don't have the energy. And I understand it's just a different personality. It's just a different style. I get it. I'm just my personal opinion. I enjoy the one better. So in that regard, Mark Briscoe, is slowly winning my heart. I mean, I find myself rooting for Mark Briscoe a lot, and I was very critical. I didn't know them, but I was very critical of the Briscoe brothers when they first came into AEW because of some of
Yeah.
what I perceived as some controversy in the, that I just a little bit of what I knew. And, again, I'm going to say it again, it is what it is. But anytime you break out a Confederate flag, I have issues. So, and that was part of their gimmick before. It hasn't been on AEW television. So, all the better, whether that's a personal thing, whether that's Tony saying no, I don't know. I'm hoping it's a personal thing.
It's
I
a
feel like
personal
Mark
thing.
has
Yeah.
apologized and tried to grow. So, I think it's a personal thing. So, in
He
that
has.
regard, all the better. But yeah, no, I was critical, but he's winning me over. I mean, his promos are phenomenal. His energy in the ring is great. I mean, he's everything that I want in a wrestler. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, how can I not ultimately like him when I'm watching him? So, in that regard, yeah, I'm glad he got the win, and I thought this was a fun match. And Ricochet's, like you said, he's that guy just always shows out. Like he's kind of I feel he's in many regards match wise, not the way he's pushed, not in his accolades or any of that, but in the fact that he never really has a bad match. I don't see him ever having really bad matches. He's kind of in that realm with like an Omega and Osprey and those kind of guys that just every time they're in the ring, it's always fun, it's always exciting, and it's always good. He always hits his spots. He's always on his mark. He always knows what he's doing, and he's incredible with his movement. So he's always fun to watch in the ring. So yeah, I enjoyed this a lot. So
Yeah. All right. So post match, Mark Briscoe is on 10 as you should be, and he's just like, listen, I have not felt this way in a long time. I'm excited, and the day has, we just getting started. This is the end of the show, but I felt what he's saying. He's like this is a turning point in his career where we're just getting started. It's like, so I'm calling out you, One more time, MJF. He's like, listen. Ooh, he's like, I love my brother. I know that he is in a mansion up in heaven, but if you keep coming at me, MJF, I'm not gonna see my brother again. He's like, it's so weird to say that. He's like, I know I will not see my brother again because I will beat your behind. And basically, I'm gonna go to hell as how basically I'm gonna go to hell of how bad I beat you up. It's like this is only Mark Briscoe can get away with that promo. And he said, so MJF is on the monitor because because you're MJF. And he was like, listen, I have nothing to prove to you, Mark Briscoe. Like, there's nothing that you want. Nothing that I have that you want that I have. I'm sorry, that I want that you
Mm.
have. But since talking to Hanger, a side note, him calling Hangman Seabiscuit before their verse, like, sir, what is wrong with you? And so and then calling Mark Briscoe and Hangman like same side of two hicks. I'm like, what is wrong? What is wrong with you? And so he was like, so I'm talking to Hanger, and he says that I have to go through you to get a shot at my AEW World Championship. Well, screen goes black, and of course, MJF hits Mark Briscoe from behind because you're a douche, and he has the Hangman, the shirt he wore with Hangman rivalry. I did nothing wrong, so we're bringing that back. I'm not mad at it. We call a low blow from behind. We're going to get Mark Briscoe versus MJF, and I guess whoever wins faces Hangman Adam Page. I don't know who I want to win just in my mind, right? We want Hangman's reign to be a decent one. So that means at least 3 months. In my mind, 3 months. So whoever he's facing first is going to lose. Now, with MJF, he has a contract, right? So let's say he beats Mark Briscoe. He can always sign a contract and run this back later. With Mark Briscoe, it's wishful thinking of me thinking that he's gonna win the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, but I don't want him just to be fed to Hangman either. You know what I'm saying? So this would be a very interesting match when they do it to see who wins, right? To ultimately face Hangman. But that's the end of the show. A decent ending to again you having to follow up Hangman versus Moxley, but it was decent enough. Any thoughts on the post match?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Mark Briscoe is kind of in this spot, hovering around the main event, hovering kind of
Yes.
around the world championship. I don't want him to feel like an afterthought, though, and I don't. I mean, the reality is that I don't think he's actually going to get a shot against Hangman Page for the title. I'm not sure I see that happening, and so MJF, I guess, is going to have two shots, I suppose. I mean, I don't, and he's going to beat Mark Briscoe. So he's going to have that opportunity, I guess, because Hangman says he has to beat Mark Briscoe first, kind of giving MJF a little bit of a dose of his own medicine, because MJF always has to make people beat people before he has to get a shot at him. So, but he's going to end up beating Mark Briscoe, I think. I think that's fairly, in my mind, that feels fairly, predictable. And so I guess he ultimately has two shots. We'll see how they end up playing that out. I kind of agree with you in the fact that I'm not sure that I like the, for lack of a better term, and I hate even using WWE terminology, the Money in the Bank opportunity that he has. I'm not sure I like that either. I think it would be better, like you said, if you have to just declare, I want the match on this date, and that's what it is, right? Not just catch it in whenever you want. So, I think mostly because I think it feels too formulaic and too kind of copycatish. It's not. It doesn't feel original, and the reality is that a lot of times I'm not sure that I feel Money in the Bank is done right, and I don't want to see AEW do the same thing and do it wrong too. You know what I mean? So right now we're already bordering on How long is he going to hold that thing? When's he going to cash it in? How many times is he going to attempt to cash it in and decide at the last moment because the chips aren't right that he's going to pull it back? Like, I get so tired of seeing that with
Right.
those opportunities. Like, the guy runs down to the ring because the guy's, I'm going to get, oh, no, I'm good now because, oh, he's standing again. Like, I do that 5 times during while you have the life
Yes.
of that opportunity. And it's like, so in that regard, I get a little, I don't want to see just them do the same thing that WWE does with Money in the Bank most of the time. So I hope that somehow they end up doing something different. I don't want Mark Briscoe to feel like a third wheel. And I don't want him to feel like kind of the
Yes.
like the afterthought in the feud between Hangman and MJF, which is what bothered me about him calling out Hangman after the low blow on Briscoe. So you low blow Briscoe, kind of push him to the side, and then you're
Yeah.
focused only on Hangman. And I understand he's a world champion, and for you, Briscoe has nothing that you want. But for us as fans, you're involved in this rivalry in this moment at this time. Deal with that. It just, it feels like, because then it feels like Briscoe gets pushed to the side and is not really, is more just like a something to look good as opposed to actually an intricate part of it. And so in that regard, I want a little bit more from Mark Briscoe. I hope that we get a little bit more. I don't know how that works out. Man, if he could beat MJF and he actually gets an opportunity to Hangman Page, he's not going to beat Hangman. And maybe, some people might debate whether, Mark Briscoe is a great opponent for Hangman in his title run or whatever. But Mark Briscoe's extremely hot at the moment. He always has fun
Yes.
matches. He's so energetic and so fun. It wouldn't be a bad match. I mean,
No.
does anyone think Mark Briscoe is going to be whether it's beating Hangman or not, does anyone think Mark Briscoe is going to be AEW world champion? Probably not. So in that regard, it's probably a little predictable, but I still think it would be a fun match, and it would give him a spot, and at least it wouldn't feel like he's just kind of riding coattails or just kind of hanging on. So in that regard, I wish MJF had focused a little bit more on Briscoe after that, because he does still have to face Briscoe ultimately. So it's not like you can just
Yes.
disregard him. Maybe that's part of the story. He disregards Briscoe, looking past him to Hangman. Somehow Briscoe gets that little win because Hangman's not 100, or because MJF's not, 100% focused on Briscoe. Briscoe's not on my level. Briscoe doesn't deserve to be here. I'll beat him easily. In the meantime, maybe Briscoe somehow gets the win. I don't know. Maybe that plays into it somehow. That could be good storytelling, I guess. I just want Briscoe to make sure that his involvement feels like it's important and not just on the side. Great show overall. Great show. Good show overall. A couple of down moments. Better than Collision for sure. I thought this was a B. I'll give this a B. That it was solid. There was nothing great about it. Christian was somewhat, and the MJF hurt business stuff is egregious. So, oh man, I'm B minus. I'm gonna go B minus. I thought it was definitely down this week as far as those things go. Well, fuck, man. Then it kind of go ahead and give me your grade, because now I'm thinking about it. Because with Moxley Page match, it was so good. I mean, I said that could be a Dynamite match
It
of the year. Like,
was.
and even Ricochet and Briscoe wasn't bad. And in a vacuum, it was a really good match. So it's a B. I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B. I'm going back now. Now I'm going back to a B. Where are you at?
um, I'll give it a solid B2. This is hard. Okay, here are the downfalls. Better to say the downfall of it, right? Match placement. Moxley and Heyman should have been at the end, definitely. Even with MJF beating up Briscoe and Heyman coming down for the save, it still wasn't a lockup. It still wasn't Moxley versus Heyman. So that should have been last. So that's a dinger. Another ding, Hurt Syndicate and MJF. This is a very long freaking story that needs to be tied up pronto. And those only were the two things that were down, right? Everything else was pretty decent and fun. B, yes, and you gave Christian Cage a lot to talk about.
And
Either way, Dynamite beats Collision, but just by how much?
and only giving the women one spot, and it being right after Moxley and Page, that's a little. The women,
All right,
if
B
your show
minus.
is if your B minus, if your show is 2 hours, the women deserve more than one 15-minute spot. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Yeah. B minus. Yeah.
yeah.
B minus.
So either way, I gave it a B. You gave it a B minus. I'm almost talking myself into a B minus, but just for the sake of not always being on the exact same grade, I'll stick with a B. You gave
Right.
it a B minus. So either way, Dynamite does get the win, which is not that it's important that Dynamite gets the win,
Norm.
but Dynamite gets the win either way.
Yes.
That's what comes out of it. That's worthwhile noting. So, unless you've got anything else to say, I'll do a little house cleaning, and we will let these people go on about their Saturday. Make sure and join us every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 Eastern for the Cookout, where we all come together and talk about what's cooking up in the world of professional wrestling. Come for the wrestling and stay for the chaos. On Friday nights, which seems now to be more often than not kind of the Anika show. Miss Anika watches Friday night fights. Sometimes
No.
Sammy is there. Sometimes Sammy's there and awake. Sometimes Sammy's there and asleep. Either way, you never know what you get, but you're going to get Anika every Friday night, 5 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. I'm sorry, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, watching SmackDown in real time, giving you her reactions and opinions to the show. I will eventually untie my tongue and get it correct. Make sure and tune in for that. Everyone loves Anika on Friday Night Fights. So then you're with us now for the Winner's Circle every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, where we come together. Usually Sammy's here too, but today it's just me and Anika. We review Dynamite and Collision from the week before, give each show a grade, and declare a winner. This week's winner was Collision. I'm sorry, this week's winner was Dynamite. I apologize. Wow. This week's winner was Dynamite. So yeah, make sure and join us every Saturday morning for Winner Circle. You can find us on all of the social media platforms. If you scan this horsey QR code, it will take you to Linktree. And from Linktree, you can get to all of our social media from one place. We love to interact with you. So please come check us out on all these platforms. Let us know, anything you want to talk about, whatever might float your fancy. We're happy to engage with you. The best part of Work Wrestling Network is you guys. So if you want to check out the podcast, the Cookout podcast, the audio version, you can catch just the audio version on these podcast platforms on screen. That way you can listen to the Cookout when you're off doing your chores or whatever. If you don't have time to sit in front of the TV or the computer and actually watch it on YouTube, you can just listen to it. So I felt like Christian giving a promo here. I stumbled over that badly. Quiet, I'm conducting business.
It happens.
I'm conducting business. So, unless you got anything else to say, we'll cut the light and say peace. Until next time.